Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to you all.
Very much, madam. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I welcome you all to this session on financial markets and organized by the Committee on Financial Markets and Investor Protection. The committee, as such, provides suggestion on various bills, notifications, documents, and relating to the financial markets, to the government and the regulators. And to make the public aware at large, this company holds different meetings. And that is the purpose of today's meeting by such eminent speakers to give us knowledge about the financial market. And first of all, we have the chairman, CA Charanjit Singh Nandaji here. And I would, he doesn't need any, I think,
Madam, I would request, please invite CS Kotha Srinivas, the co-chairman, to give his address, and then I would speak, madam.
All right. Okay, sir. Fine. I'll do it. So, Nanda sir, as usual, he's always humble and modest, and he wants me to invite the vice chairman, sir, first. So, I invite CA Kotha sir, the vice chairman of this committee, to give the keynotes of address to the participants of this meeting. So, please, sir. And we have few words from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Triveni. I also thank the chairman, Charanjit Singh Nanda sir. I would have given afterwards, after listening to Nanda sir, so that I would have got some points, but now he has pushed that thing to me only. I also welcome the speakers for the day, Mr. C.A. Manish Zawar and C.A. Rajesh Khandal. Well, as Triveni was telling about our committee's initiatives. Of course, it's a committee on financial markets and investor protection. But today's session is not about investors protection as such, but it is a new area which we are discussing. So, which will help not only investors but also the professionals as such to get into a new area of practice. So today we are discussing about what do you call this social stock fundamental points to be considered while investing in equity social stock exchange. Of course, we have the learned speakers who will be taking us through all those formalities and other things about social stock exchange. Members, this is a new concept where we are talking about social stock exchange. We know there is a security stock exchange. We know there is something called commodity stock exchange. Now we are talking about social stock exchange. So this is a place where the NGOs and NPOs can come and list themselves. So it's like no interest, no principal repayment bond, something like that, which members at large can invest in these particular securities as such. And that particular funds can be used for the charity at large, so social securities at large. So there are a lot of things that is there in this particular topics. And I should say, Institute ICA has taken a very pivotal role in this particular setting up of this social stock exchange. In fact, SEBI had requested the ICA to form this Section 8 company, and it had given it had full faith in ICA. So I should thank all those people who are responsible and the council for giving this, taking this opportunity and executing this task as such. So that social stock exchange has been formed now. Maybe in future you may get a lot of opportunities. We also have this what do you call this something like a certification course that has been run. I request members to participate in that so that you get more inputs and more knowledge about this, how to register a particular NGO into this social stock exchange, and then how to certify those financials. So all those things are there. So without taking much of your time, we have 3 learned speakers. I once again welcome all of you on behalf of ICA and also on behalf of Committee on Financial Markets and Investor Protection. I also thank the moderator of the day, Triveni, for giving me this opportunity. Back to you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having your address. And I switch on now to Charanjit sir. Sir, please can you give few words? And before he gives his wonderful and knowledgeable words to all the participants, I'd like to introduce him a little. He's the Central Council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. and he's the chairman and vice chairman of various committees. And it's innumerable. If I start taking the number, I think we'll run short of time. So just introducing him like he's the chairman and vice chairman of so many of committees and of this committee as well. So please, sir, I invite you to give the keynote address to the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Triveni ji. CA Kota S. Srinivas, the co-chairman of this committee, who hails from Bangalore, a person who has been putting his entire mind to ensure that profession reaches unprecedented heights, a person who would work incessantly to ensure that all the tasks assigned to him are finished in record time. We have three speakers of the day, Rajesh Khandolji, who comes from Mumbai, CA Monish Zawar, who comes from Nasik, my younger brother, CA Anmol Rana, who hails from Ambala, CA Triveni Sehgal, the moderator of this program, who hails from Amritsar, the holy city, Animesh ji, Nisag Ghevar from ICI Capital Market team, and all participants have come here to go home more enlightened. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to yet another exciting, another happening session of the capital market. Capital market has assumed glamorous propositions. And see, I am today in Vadodara. We had a program, full day conference on capital market, and evening we have a second conference for you. You have to understand one thing, that as chartered accountant, if you want to create value and worth from the market for yourself as well as your clients, you need to be very aptly involved in understanding the fundamentals and technicals of the market. Very importantly, I remember a person saying that if you want to become a multi-millionaire by legitimate means, the only option is the stock market. Your hard work, your research, your indulgence, your perseverance will ensure that you put across things in such a fashion that they start reaping rich benefits and dividends. I know Mr. Khandol has great wide experience into the fundamental part of the market, how to identify fundamental stocks, how to keep them and reap their benefits in times to come. Monish Zawar, I personally know him, is a person of great aptitude and great knowledge. He identifies stock based on technicals, and then he is able to understand how you have to invest those stocks to create value. Anmol Rana would speak on the social stocks, and in entirety, they will take the entire audience to a parlance where they understand that if you wish to create wealth and virtue in the markets, you have to be technically sound, fundamentally sound, and at the same time, ready to hone your technical skills. There is a couplet which says, गर खैरात में मिलती कामयाबी तो हर शख्स कामयाब होता, गर खैरात में मिलती कामयाबी तो हर शख्स कामयाब होता, फिर कदर ना होती किसी भी हुनर की और ना ही कोई लाजवाब होता. The English version is that if you got competence by charity, all would have been competent and there would have been no say of people who are outstanding or bright in life. People like Brother Kota Srinivas, who have been putting their incessant efforts, needs to be acknowledged. And in the same way, all of us, if we want to create value and worth by investment in the markets, we all need to work towards the direction of doing your own research, understanding the markets, understanding how you have to buy and where you have to buy and where you have to sell, understanding what have to be your stop losses and targets. The institute in this direction, the council is pleased to announce and allow chartered accountants to undertake future and option trading both in currency market and in stocks market. So not taking much of your time, I'm very eager as you all are to listen to the learned speakers. So the dais goes back to CA Triveni Sehgal. Madam, the dais is all yours. You can please invite the speakers and start the proceedings of the session. Thanks all for inviting me and coming in such large numbers. Great.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to have your wonderful words. And I will take a little time to introduce Dr. Rajesh Khandol. He's the first speaker of this session, and he's the Chief Executive of Capital Sprout and derives the all strategic key investment decisions of clients. And research and analysis on various commercial areas always remains close to the heart of Dr. Rajesh. was in the area of practice of chartered accountancy from 1990 to 2021. Currently, he's a member of Association of Mutual Funds of India, and he is going to give us wonderful knowledge about the topic of today. And I request Rajesh sir to please give your words to all the participants, because they are waiting for your excellent views. And I will not take much time to stand between you and the audience. So please, sir, over to you. Thank you so much.
Good evening to all. I'm thankful to Nanda sirs and all committee members for providing me an opportunity to speak in this seminar. My topic is factors to be considered while investing in equity. Here the word is investing in equity. So obviously, when we talk about the investment, it is from long-term perspective. So long-term perspective, that means we will be talking about the investment for a time horizon of 5 years or maybe more than 5 years, but not less than 3 years. So we'll be talking about the long-term perspective. There are technical analysis also and long-term investment perspective also. Each individual perspective has its own merit and demerits, but we'll be discussing about the long-term perspective. I'll be talking about few factors which is to be considered while investing in equity, and then we'll discuss about few theories, like you have to adopt that theory if you want to invest for a long-term perspective. So ideally, the strategy is bottom-down strategy. You have to select certain stocks and then apply the test, like we'll be discussing certain factors. So we'll have to discuss that factor. If that test is not giving the positive indications, then we should not invest in that stocks. So it is a bottom-down approach. You have to select certain stocks and then you have to eliminate if that factor is not giving the positive indications. So let us discuss those factors which is to be considered while investing in equity. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yeah. First and foremost important is management integrity. What is management integrity? Management integrity means management hold its functions honestly and transparently. What is it important? It is so important that we'll be discussing other factors also. If all other factors are giving the positive indications, but management integrity is giving the negative indications, then we have to give more weightage to the management integrity. After all, it is the brain of the company. If your legs and hands and your body is powerful, but brain is not functioning properly, then there is no use of that body. Like infrastructure, brand value, resources, after all these are body, but management is the brain. So you have to give more importance to the management integrity. Let us take the live example. Just before 3 years back, there was a complaint about Infosys, like they have not given the that complaint was Infosys has painted the rosy pictures and they are not transparent. So there was an official complaint, and the share price of the Infosys was dropped by 15% very next day. Here we are not discussing about the genuineness of complaint. What I am trying to tell you is Infosys is a blue chip company, and if the blue chip company, the share price of that blue chip company can be reduced by 15% just because of doubt of the management integrity, then you can imagine the reduction possibility of other companies. So you have to be very sure about the management integrity. Now the big question is, how can you judge the management integrity? How can you judge the integrity of the person? From the face? Obviously not. Obviously you can have little bit judgment from the face of the person, but you cannot judge the integrity of the person from his face. You can judge the integrity of the person from its behavior pattern. Similarly, integrity of the company, integrity of the management integrity of the company can be judged from the behavior patterns. We'll discuss about certain behavior patterns. These all are illustrative. The list is illustrative, not exhaustive. The first is promoter holding. What is promoter holding? Promoter holding means promoters share into this own company. Higher the percentage of holding, higher the commitment. Higher the commitment, higher the probability of management integrity. I am saying that higher the probability. This is not conclusive. Just give an indication. Higher the promoter holding, then higher the probability of management integrity. I have quoted certain examples. It is just appropriate to what I am trying to tell you. It is not exhaustive. We will discuss about many factors. Each factor has its own importance. Individual factor is not conclusive, but we have to give the weightage of all factors and then we have to take the decision. The first is promoter holding. I have discussed about promoter holding. Just go through the screen. I have quoted some appropriate examples like about India, where the management holding is 74%. And what is the share price return of that particular company? 5-year CAGR is 29%. That means every year they have generated 29% returns to the shareholder. Next is Nestle. Here, the percentage of management is 62.76 and the return is 18%. And bottom two company, they are not committed. Management is not committed. Their holding is less than 25%. Like in G, holding is 4%. So you can see the CAGR return. And in Suzlon Energy, you can also see the CAGR return. The next factor is, which can give some indications about the management integrity, that is pledge of promoter holding. If promoter plays its shares, then three type of risk arises. The one is, let us presume that promoter holding is 60% and they place their 50% shares. That means indirectly committed holding is 30%. The next, if in a worst scenario, if that shares will be offloaded into the market, then price of the shares can be reduced to the significant extent. And the third, when promoter is placing their shares, that means resources and infrastructures is not sufficient according to the size of the company, according to the soul of the company. So resource and infrastructure is not sufficient. That means company is functioning at higher risk. So here, when you find that promoter has placed their shares to the significant extent, then you will get the negative indications about the management integrity. Let us take some examples. One is Hindustan Zinc. Here the promoter holding is 64.90% and they have placed their 87% shares. So what is impact on share price? In 5 years, the return is negative, 1% negative. Imami, it's a good company. Promoter holding is 54.27%. They have placed their 54.30% shares. Then what is the outcome in share price? The negative return of 8% per year in last 5 years. Same way Vedanta. Promoter holding is 68.1%. They have placed their entire stake and the return is negative. Same Indus Tower. So this is just a illustration. So you have to consider if the promoter has placed their share to the significant extent, then it is a negative indication. There is a probability of doubt about the management integrity. The next factor which can give some indications about the management integrity is dividend payout. What is dividend payout? Dividend payout, that means percentage of net profit distributed to the shareholders. When you are investing into the company, obviously your object is not to earn the dividend, but to get the capital appreciation. But if you go through the dividend payout percentage, then you will have a little bit idea about the management integrity. Now there are two probabilities. One probability is company is having the sufficient profit and they have not declared the dividend just to keep the resources for the future expansion. That is one probability. That you can check from the previous historical records. Like in preceding 5 years, company has not declared the dividend, but they have used that resources for the further expansion. Then it's okay. The second probability is company is having sufficient profit. They have not spent their money for the future expansion, but still they have not declared the dividend. Here you will have a little bit doubt about the management integrity. How? Let us look back to the fundamentals. When you are investing into the company, then you will be a partner to that extent. So you are the partner of that company to that extent. That mindset has to be accepted by the promoters. If the profit is sufficient and they have not declared the dividend, that means they don't consider you as a partner. They want to keep the resources, they want to enjoy the resources, and they don't consider you as a partner. They consider you as the only legal source of the fund. And that mindset is risky. So you will have to go through the dividend payout ratios that will give you little bit indications about the management integrity. Just go through some examples. The one is Tata Consumer. They have declared 65%. Like profit is 100 crore, they have spent 65% profit as a dividend. Nestle 89%. Some of the multinational companies are declaring, are spending their 80%, 90% profit, and they are distributing 80%, 90% profit to the shareholders. And you can see the effect on share price. In Tata Consumer, CAGR return is 21%. CAGR, that means annually compounded. And next two example is Godrej Industries. They have not declared any dividend. And you can see the impact on share price. Ramco Cement, they have not declared the dividend. They have declared the dividend, but only distributed 8% of their profit. You can see the impact on share price. I have given the impact as on 26 April 2023. So preceding 5 years return is, in case of Tata Consumer is 21%, Nestle 18%, Godrej -6%, and Ramco -2%. So by and large, you can say that if dividend payout ratio is high, then there is a probability that management is transparent. The next, you have to go through the government compliances. If there is a pending litigation, if there is a civil or criminal case against the company, then there is a probability that management is not believing in compliances. If management is not believing in compliances, management is not believing in follow the rules and regulations, then it is risky. The next is Google background check. You have to take the background check of the promoters and the company and check whether any litigations or manipulations or any fraud is pending against the promoters, against the company. If you find that, then you have to be very careful. So these all are the factors which can give you little bit indications about the management integrity. I will tell you that all are illustrative, it's not exhaustive. It is very difficult to judge the intention of the persons. The next important factor is business model and prospect. The first was management integrity. You have to give, I can say, more than 70% weightage to the management integrity. If you find any doubt about the management integrity, then just not invest in that particular company. And the next most important factor is business model and prospect of the company. It is very important nowadays because business models are changing very fast. Like the changes have taken place in last 15 years, maybe 10 to 15 times than the changes taken place in last 5 decades. Let us take examples like business models. Business models are changing very fast. Let us take examples like manufacturing of CD. That was the prospect of that business was very good before 15 years back, and now the entire business is outdated. So it is very fast, keep on changing. Business models are keep on changing. So you have to go through the business model and prospects of the company. How can you go through the business model? When you are investing in the company, then obviously you will believe that company will generate the sufficient resources for the next 5 to 10 years. So you have to go through the revenue model of the company. You have to go through the product of the company, services of the company. In case of manufacturing company, it is very relatively easy to understand the product of the company, but it is very difficult to understand the revenue model of the company in case where company is rendering the services. So in that case, you have to go through the rating agencies report. It is available in screener sites. You have to go through the rating agencies report where everything was given, like what is the business model of the company, what is the future prospect of that industry, what is the future prospect of the company, what is the strength of the company, what is the weakness of the company, what is the debt structure of the company. So ideally, you have to go through the rating agency report of that particular company. And it is purely a business and commercial call. There is no benchmark to judge the business model and prospect of the company. It's a commercial call. So basically, when you are investing in the company, then more weightage is given to the management integrity, and next more weightage is given to the business model and prospect of the company. Next important factor which you have to consider is growth story. Here I have divided growth story in 3 parts: top line growth, bottom line growth, and percentage of operating margin. When you are investing in the company, then obviously that company should be capable to generate the cash flow in future. So here the top line growth, you have to just go through the preceding 5 years sales data. If the growth company is able to maintain the growth of say 10%, that means company is capable to sell their products. The next is bottom line growth. You have to go through the bottom line growth of preceding 5 years. If the net profit is keep on increasing, that means company is capable to generate the profit. If top line growth is there but bottom line growth is not there, that means company is not able to maintain the bottom line. That means there is something wrong in administration expenses, or there may be something wrong in margin. And third is percentage of operating margin. It is very important. You have to go through the percentage of operating margin. If companies keep on maintaining the percentage of operating margin and there is a top line growth, then it's a good indication. If percentage of operating margin is keep on reducing, that means there is a peer pressure on the company. Company is not been able to maintain the margin, then there is a risk. You take the example of some of the multinationals, irrespective of any circumstances, like Lever, Nestle, irrespective of any circumstances, they maintain their operating margin. What does it mean? It means that their product is that much capable, they can dictate their price, sale price. So you have to give the weightage of all these 3 factors: top line growth, bottom line growth, and percentage of operating margin. I have quoted some appropriate example. Let us go through that example. The one is SRF. The 5-year bottom line growth is 21%. So every year the sale is increased by 21%. Every year the profit is increased by 30%. Operating margin in 17-18 was 16%, and now on 22-23 is 24%. That means company is able to maintain the top line growth, bottom line growth, as well as operating margin. That can be seen from the share price. So that company has given the share price upward of 39%, 5 years. Every year the share price is increased by 39%. So it's a fantastic return. The another example is about India. Top line growth is 11%, bottom line growth is 24%. Operating margin is also increased from 16 to 23%. So all the parameters are good and it is well reflected into the share price. The CAGR return is 29%. 5-year CAGR return is 29%. The next two examples, like top line growth is there in Sun Pharma, but they are not been able to give the bottom line growth. And operating margin is also reduced from 32 to 27%. So here the negative share price growth is 9%. In last 5 years, the share price is reduced. The next is Lupin. Here also operating margin is reduced from 20 to 9%. There is no top line growth, there is no bottom line growth. And it is reflected in the share price. All are prominent companies. So you can see that what is the impact on growth story of the company. Next is return on equity. What is return on equity? Return on equity, that means net profit divided by shareholder fund. That means equity plus reserve, net worth. Suppose your investment ROI, your net worth is 100 crores and you are generating profit of 15 crores. That means your ROI is 15%. Higher the ROI, higher the efficiency. That means you are generating the higher percentage of return out of your investment. Some of the multinational companies are generating ROI of more than 40%. Then excellent. Usually, if the ROI is more than say 15%, so that can be considered a good return on equity. I have taken certain examples, appropriate examples. Let us go through that examples. LTI Mindtree. Here the 5-year ROI is 31%. And it is well reflected into the share price. The share price return is 21%, 5-year CAGR return. Tata Elxsi, ROI is 33%. About India, 27%. And the bottom line, bottom two cases like TV18, ROI is only 8%. So it is reflected into the share price. Lupin, ROI is 0%. So it is reflected into the share price. These all examples are illustrative. It is not exhaustive. It is not conclusive. But just you can have a little bit probability, higher probability. If the ROI is high, then probability, there is a higher probability that company share price will be increased. Next is debt exposure. We all know about the COVID. Like in last 2 years, we have faced COVID situation. If your immunity high, if your immunity is low, if your immunity is low, then there is a probability that you will not recover from the COVID. Higher the debt, lower the immunity system. And what is COVID? COVID is adverse situation. It can be anything. It can be labor strike. It can be change in government regulation. It can be change in prospect of the industry. It can be change in management. So in any adverse situation, if your immunity is low, then there is a risk. So higher the debt, higher the risk. I have seen many companies just because of higher debt, they become bankrupt. You can have many examples. Even during the course of my professions, I have seen that once the debt is high, then promoters' focus will be on serving the debts. There is a multiple problems arise when the debt is higher. So when the debt is high, then there is a risk, then it's a negative indications, and don't invest in that particular company when the debt is high. Let us take some appropriate example. Greenwell Norton, Here the net worth is 1617 crore and debt is only 40 crores. It's a insignificant debt and the return is 30%. Divis Laboratory almost debt free. Timken is almost debt free. And take the example of another two cases like United Phosphorus Limited. It's a prominent company of that particular industry. That product is excellent. Even market capitalization is excellent. But here you can see that net worth of the company is 24,958 and debt is higher than the company, and it is very well reflected in the share price. If you have invested in UPL before 5 years back, then today you will have loss of about 10 to 11%. The same in case of MRPL. Debt is higher than the net worth and it is reflected in the share price. So when the debt of the company is higher than the net worth, or even percentage of debt is higher than the total shareholder wealth, then you have to be very careful about long-term investment. The next very important factor is operating cash flow. What is operating cash flow? Operating cash flow, that means cash generated in day-to-day activities. Let us take the example of Satyam scheme. What was the Satyam scheme? Satyam has painted the rosy picture of income which was not receivable. To plug that loopholes, companies have introduced the concept of operating cash flow. Company has to declare their operating cash flows. They have to give the analysis of their operating cash flows. Operating cash flows means cash generated from day-to-day activities. You have to compare the operating cash flows of preceding years. If it is keep on increasing, then there is a good sign. If it is keep on reducing, then there is something wrong. Let us presume one case like net profit is increasing, but operating cash flow is reducing. Say net profit is 100 crore, but operating cash flow last year it was 120 crore and current year it is 80 crores. Then what will be the probability? The probability is, one probability is like inventory is increased, data is increased, working capital requirement is increased. Company is very transparent, but there is a change in working capital requirement. Company is transparent. The second probability is company is not transparent and company is painting the rosy picture, which is actually not with the fact. They have declared higher stocks valuation. They have declared higher stocks, and by valuing the stocks at higher price, the net profit is higher. In both the cases, there is a negative indication. If the company is transparent but still operating cash flow is reducing, that means company is not capable to generate the profit, operating profit. There is a peer pressure. There can be so many factors where the company is not comfortable to generate the day-to-day case from day-to-day activities. And the second option is very risky. Here there is a question of management integrity. When the company is painting a rosy picture, then it is very risky. So that kind of loopholes, when the net profit is higher but operating cash flow is reducing, so that kind of manipulations can be trapped when you go through the operating cash flow statement. Just go through appropriate examples like Abbott. The operating cash flow is increased from 727 to 948 crores. That means increase of 2 to 1 crores. That means company is capable to generate the profit. They are not just declaring the profit, but that profit is already arrived into the company. Tata Elxsi, here the cash flow is increased and it is well reflected into the share price. The next is Imami and again UPM. Cash flow is negative. Operating cash flow is keep on reducing and it is reflected into the share price. So this is also a very indicative factor to consider for the long-term investment. Now we have discussed about few factors which is to be considered while investments. Apart from that, we have to also go through the historical return of the company, historical share price return. It is likely that all the factors are giving positive indications, but historical returns are not giving the positive indication. What does it mean? It means that there are something which you are not identifying. Apparently, all the factors are giving positive returns, but historical returns are not good. That means there is something which you are not identifying. So in that case, also you have to be very careful. For long-term investment, I have told that you have to go through the bottom line approach. If you are not comfortable, then you should not invest in the company. It is like a test match, playing a test match, not playing a one day. Here there is no much restrictions on balls to come. If you don't understand the ball, then please skip that ball. There are about 7,000 companies, 7,000 listed companies, out of which for good long-term investment, you have to invest in only 20 to 25 good companies. So when you don't understand the companies, then please skip that companies. Here I have given appropriate examples like Sun TV. PE is lower, only 9.54. Dividend yield is good, 3.57%. But still, 3-year CAGR return is 4%, 5-year CAGR return is minus 14%. So all the factors which we have discussed is giving the positive indications, but it is not reflected into the share price. So you have to go through the historical return of the share price also. The same is General Insurance, Castrol, Petronet. If you go through the Castrol analysis, then here the PE is good, 19, dividend yield is good, but it is not reflected in the share price. Why? Because there is no top line growth. Company is stagnant. Company is not believing in investing, and company is not that efficient. Even ROI is high, but still it is not reflected into the share price. So you have to give the combined weightage of all the factors. So we have discussed about factors to be considered before investing in it. Just go through the summary. One is management integrity. How can you judge the management integrity? So from promoter holdings, place of promoter holding, dividend payout, government compliances, Google search. And the second important is business model and prospect, growth story, return on equity, debt exposure, operating cash flow, and historical return. So these all are the factors which you will have to consider before the investment. Now that factor is just like a information. So nowadays we are flooded with the information. So all the informations are available. But when you are investing in the company, then 25% weightage is to the analysis and 75% weightage is on adopting the right strategy. So we will discuss about the strategy. Here we have discussed about the factors. Now we will discuss about the strategy. You have to adopt the correct strategy. If you have not adopted the correct strategy of investment, then there is a probability that you won't get the good return. I have seen many cases where they have not adopted the proper policy of the investment, and they are blaming on the stock market that in stock market you won't get the investment. But it is not correct because they have not adopted the correct strategy. So let us discuss about the correct strategy of investment. Before going to that, I have just prepared one chart from our research team. We have calculated the data on 30th June 22 and then just before 2 days. So Nifty, it's a total market capitalization of Nifty is 124 crores, out of which promoter holding is 44 crores. We are talking about 30th June. Promoter holding is 44%. So promoter holding is decreased from 44% to 42%. FIA holding was 24% and now it is 25%. So overall FIA holding is increased by 1%. DIA holding was 17% and now it is 20.52%. So what is the bottom line? The bottom line is DIA holding is increased. So eventually in last 9 months, DIA is very, domestic institutions is very aggressive in investing in stock market. This is what the summary of 9 months. I have taken the data of Nifty 50. So total market capitalization of Nifty is also increased from 124 lakhs crore to 140.32 crores. Now we were talking about strategies, conceptual tips for investing in stock market. The first tip is be quick in loss booking and be lazy in profit booking. People used to follow the reverse strategy. They book their profit, they book their limited profit, say 30%, 40%, they book their profit and they hold the share for unlimited loss. It is very wrong strategy. If you want to invest into the stock market, then exit is most important. Entry is also important, but as compared to entry, exit is most important. I have seen many portfolios, PMS portfolios, where the performance of entire portfolio is deteriorated just because of few stocks have not performed well. You have to take exit in that particular stock very quickly. So ideally, when you are investing into the companies, like total 10 companies are into your portfolio, out of which 8 companies are performing well and 2 companies are not performing well, then you have to go through that 2 companies. You have to analyze that 2 companies first. So ideally, it's a bottom line approach. When the company is performing well, then you are not supposed to go through it, but you have to go through the companies which are not performing well. But people usually do the reverse exercise. Same, be lazy in profit booking. When the company is performing well, that means by default, there is something good into the company. You are not supposed to investigate. You are not supposed to go through detail about why the company is performing well. But people used to book the profit. Like you have invested and in 3 months, the profit is 30%, you will book the profit. So that is the wrong theory. So you have to adopt the right theory. Let us go through the strategy of some big investors like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. They have invested Titan. They have invested in Titan at a very low price. Let us presume that in 100% return, they will book the profit. But they have not booked the profit. That is why their net worth is increased by many fold. If you book the profit early, if the company is performing well, but still, just because of receiving the higher profit, you are booking the profit. Even if company is doing the well, all the factors are giving the positive indications. Growth story is there, operating margin is there, operating cash flow is there. But just because of receiving certain profit in short time, you are booking the profit. And in that case, you won't get the benefit of multi-bagger stocks. So here you have to adopt the policy of be quick in loss booking and be lazy in profit booking. Actually, it is very difficult to implement. I have taken certain appropriate examples like Lotus Lake. The price as on 30th April 22 was 583. It is further reduced 375. So when it is keep on reducing, then you have to be very careful and just start investigating the reason. And if you find any negative indication, just take exit from that company, like Adani Green Energy. The prices keep on reducing. Find out the reason. HDFC Bank, price on keep on increasing. You are not supposed to investigate about the reason about why the price is increasing. So this is what the theory you have to adopt. The next is don't buy in 52-week low and sell in 52-week high. People used to follow the reverse strategy. People believe that share price is down, then there is a probability that it will increase. But by default, it is reverse. When the market is not down and your share price is reducing, that means by default, there is something went wrong into the company. That is a by default probability. And the reverse is when the share prices keep on increasing, that means there is something good into the company, there is some good prospect for the company, there is some good events or there is some good happening. You are not aware about that happening, but there is something good. So you are not worried about price of that particular company and you should not book the profit when it is 52-week high. Here I have given certain examples like Biocon. In 22 calendar year, the share price was 252. Lower price was 252 and higher was 410, 400. Biocon is a good company. Biocon is very famous and it's not a small cap for penny stocks. So when you feel that share price is lowest 258 and if you invest, then it is wrong. The price is further reduced to 233. So you have to investigate the reason behind why the price is keep on reducing. Same way, Whirlpool. The lowest is 1365 and highest is 1917. If you are invested in 1365, then still price is reduced. You have to investigate the reason. I can tell you the reason of Whirlpool. Why? Because the operating margin is keep on reducing in last 2 years. They have not been able to generate the sufficient profit. They have not been able to dictate their price. So this is the reason why the share price of Whirlpool is keep on reducing. But it is an indication. When the price is keep on reducing, then you have to investigate. And just because of reduced price, you should not take the investment call on that particular company. And the next two example is Action Construction. The prices keep on increasing. So you should not take a call of sell because it is keep on increasing. All the factors are positive. If the factor is negative, then it's a different story. But if all the factors are giving the positive indications, then the price is keep on increasing. Even if it is 52-week high, you should not sell this share. Same way for Nestle, you should not sell this share. Next is do not tempted to buy when market price is less than its book value. There is a general conception that book value of the share is 100 rupees and it is available, it is quoted at say 50 rupees. So let us buy that share. I'll give you one example. Like one Mercedes, cost of that Mercedes is say 70 lakhs and it is available at 40 lakhs rupees. Will you buy that? The first answer is yes. You should buy that Mercedes because the price of that Mercedes is 70 and it is available at 40. The first answer is yes. Now there is a condition apply. The first condition is you can drive that Mercedes only that particular certain roads where the road conditions are not good, and in that particular roads you cannot drive the car with a speed of more than 50%. And the second conditions, you cannot have your own drivers, but they will provide you the drivers and that driver is a rickshaw driver. Now you tell me, is it worth to buy the Mercedes? No. Same for the company. Road, that means culture of the organization. If culture of the organization is not permitting you to be an efficient, then forget about the infrastructure and resources. Book value, that means infrastructure and resources. If the culture of the organization is not permitting you to be an efficient, and the driver, who is driver? Management. If the management is not good, like in public sector, in most of the public sector companies, what is management? Management is government. That means politicians. Management are not good. Culture is not providing you to be an efficient. So obviously, sale price of that particular PSUs will be lesser than the book value. So merely by judging the book values and market value, you should not buy the shares. I have quoted certain examples like general insurance companies, India Bulls, New India, and Jubilant Pharma. out of which two are General Insurance and New India is a public sector companies. It is quoted always less just because of management issues and efficiency issues. India Bull Housing is just because of management integrity issues. The next important theory is do not panic to buy when PE is high. Usually, some people have conception that if the PE is more than 25 or more than 30, then you should not buy that shares. But that conception is also very wrong. Usually, good company stocks are available at high P only. I'm not saying that if the P is high, then you have to buy the share, but merely by higher P, if you stop buying that particular stock, then that conception is wrong. Let us go through the book value and uh, share price of some of the companies like Nestle and Hindustan Lever and some of the multinational companies. So obviously there is a huge difference between the book value and market value. What is that different? That different is brand value. That different is goodwill. When the company is having a good goodwill, then obviously P of that particular company is high. So merely by judging the P, if you stop buying the good companies, then it is a wrong theory. Let us take some appropriate example. Here, all are multinational companies, Siemens, ABC, and National. Here, the PE is more than 50, even more than 75, but still, companies keep on giving the higher returns. The next important theory is buy the best, not the cheap. There is a conception that share price of 10 rupees can be increased up to 50 rupees very quickly, but share of 1000 rupees cannot be reached to 5000 rupees very quickly. That conception is also wrong. It is probably like shares of 10 rupees can be increased 50 very quickly, that is right. But out of 10 penny stock, out of 10 penny stocks, probability of bankruptcy is very high in more than 8 stocks. But when you invest into the stock where the market price is 1000 rupees, then there is a probability that it will not decrease over a period of time. So eventually, if you buy the penny stocks, then for the long-term investment, you won't get the good return. It is likely that out of 10 stock, 1 or 2 stock can be a multi-bagger, but eventually in 9 stock, you will lose the money significantly. So the strategy, good strategy is buy the best, not the cheap. Just take appropriate examples like GVK Power. The share price is 2.54. And what is the return? It's negative. Unitech, share price is 1.34. Merely by 1.34, it cannot be a good investment. What is the probability of losing? Maybe 100%. The next is Bajaj Finance. It's a blue chip company. Share price is more than 5,000, so 6,000. But what is the probability of getting the good returns? It's very high. Same way the above. The share price is 22,000. The probability is very high. So you have to adopt the right strategy of investment. If you don't follow, if you're not following the right strategy, then there is a probability there you won't get the good return on investment. I think I have done with my presentations, and I'll be happy to give the reply from the audience if any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijay sir. And we have certain questions in my chat box, so please one by one I'll keep saying, and please answer the audience about that question. Are you comfortable with that? So do I speak first question?
Yeah.
Just a second. I think I have lost the Zoom link for the question answers. So can we take it later? And
Okay.
can I invite the second speaker if you don't mind, sir? So can I invite the second speaker if you're over with your deliberation? Yes, sir. Rajesh sir, can you hear me? Rajesh sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay.
Is there any questions from the audience?
Yes, sir. We have the questions. I have just lost the link. There were. Just give me 1 second. I just see. Give me a second, sir. I've lost the link actually.
Actually, I have to leave by 7:15, so
Yes, sir.
I'm available till 7:15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I speak the question? Rajesh sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. The first question is how to determine the best funds based on sector that will remain growing in future.
Yeah, can you repeat it? How you?
Yes, sir. How to determine the best funds based on sector that will remain growing in future.
Best funds?
How to determine the best funds?
Funds, you are talking about the mutual funds or you are talking about the stocks?
So that is the question by Adil Hussain. How to determine the best funds based on sector that will remain growing in future?
So basically, he's talking about the funds. That means the mutual funds, sectorial funds. What I understood is he's talking about the sectorial fund.
Okay.
So it is very difficult because it is very difficult to find out the prospect of the sectors. Like in the pharma sector, the sectorial fund, like in June 21, the prospect of the pharma sector was very good. But recently, in last 1 year, that pharma sector is not performing well. Just before 1 year back, the banking sector was not performing good, but now it is performing very well. So it is very difficult to take a call on particular sectors. Like technology sector is not performing well since last 6 months. But now there is a probability that it will perform well because it is a consolidation is already done. So it's very difficult to give the answer about the future prospect of the particular sector.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The second question is by CA Amit, and the question goes like, how the investor knows that the company is showing a rosy picture, any indications? I repeat the question.
Yeah.
How the investor knows that the company is showing a rosy picture, any indications?
Yeah, that indications is one is operating cash flow. If company is showing a rosy picture, then automatically it will be plugged into the operating cash flow statement. If operating cash flow is keep on reducing and net profit is higher, then there is an indication that there is something wrong. And if the debt is increased, like debt is increased significant, then there is a probability that promoters are trapped. Promoters are trapped into the debt, and they are compelled to show the rosy picture. If the debt is high and the operating cash flow is reduced, then there is an indication that company is showing the rosy picture.
Thank you, sir. The third question goes, does in-depth analysis before the investment require special knowledge or general information is sufficient to frame and view for while investing for a very long period?
Yeah, regarding we have discussed about 12 points. Like first was management integrity, and then the second was business prospect. In rest of the points, in-depth knowledge is not required because any qualified persons can go through that analysis. But for the first 2 points, in-depth knowledge is required, like management to judge the management integrity and business prospects. In business prospect, to judge the business prospect of that particular company, you have in-depth knowledge. You should have in-depth knowledge about the economics and then commercial implications. And management integrity, you should have in-depth knowledge about the all promoters, and then you should have good vision to identify why it is going wrong. So in that two particular points where weightage is more than 75%, management integrity and business prospect, where in-depth knowledge is required. And for the rest of the points, in-depth knowledge is not.
Thank you, sir. The next question is how to build a good portfolio. How many shares is apt?
Yeah, I think so. For a good portfolio, you should have less than 25 stocks. Ideally, 15 to 25, not more than 20 to 25. Ideally, 15 stocks. You should have 15 good stocks where the you will have good indications about the growth story, business prospects, good operating cash flow, and the most important is good management.
Thank you, sir. The next is DMart is not paying dividend, but it is profitable. So how can we interpret?
You have to go through the so many parameters, like what is the PE of the company. Like PE is very high. So is it possible that PE can be sustained, PE can be maintained? So there can be n number of reasons, like some companies are not believing in distributing the dividend. It doesn't mean that it is a concluding factor. But you have to evaluate all the factors simultaneously, like what is the PE, what is the business prospect of the company. Like Avenue Supermarket, profit is keep on increasing, but P is very high. So whether that higher P is risky or not, that you have to evaluate.
Thank you, sir. And CA Kamalgar, sir, request you to please share your PPT. So that's a request to you. Please say
Yeah,
it.
okay, sure.
So thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful deliberation. And we are really obliged to you for sharing such a useful information to us. And I think everyone participating here will get a lot of profits from your deliberation. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I invite CA Manish Zawar. Sir, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
And I welcome you here as a second speaker after Rajesh, sir. So before you go with your deliberation, let me introduce to the participants just briefly. So CA Manish Zawar is a fellow chartered accountant and is a partner in the Zawar Zomani and Company Chartered Accountants, Nasik. So he has a 6 years experience of post-qualification, and major area of expertise is technical analysis, investment advisory, direct taxes, and bank audits. So experience of more than 5 years in capital markets. Faculty for basic and advanced technical analysis has conducted batches for basic and advanced technical analysis for stock market enthusiasts. So I think all who sitting here are very enthusiastic about the stock market, and he is going to give us more tips how to get a lot of profits. So over to you, sir, and you are welcome, please, to share your deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, hello, members. Good evening. So, we are here for the session called Fundamental Points to be Considered while investing in equities. Rajesh sir already taken to us to the deep study on fundamental analysis. I'll be taking a session on technical side. So I'd like to thank Nanda sir and Kuta sir and all the committee members for providing me this opportunity on such a great platform. So I'll start my PPT and I'll share my view how we consider stocks, how we pick up the stock while through technical analysis. Hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. So let us start with the finding stock using technical analysis. So basically, everyone is CA, so I don't need to introduce what is stock market and all. But majorly, what are the key takeaways? Is stock market is the place where people buy and sell shares or stock of a publicly listed company. Just for example, Reliance, Tata Motor. There are two major stock exchanges, NSE and BSE, where we do trades, and individual has to mandatory open trading account called demat account for the trading in equity, shares, derivatives, and all these bonds. There are different market participants like retail investor, domestic institutes, mutual funds, banks, HNI, and FIIs. Indian stock market is governed by the SEBI, and demat account or dematerialized account allows holding shares in electronic form instead of taking physical possession of certificates. So what is the difference between fundamental analysis and technical analysis? Fundamental analysis to find the intrinsic value of the stock. Like we do study on fundamental side, like how is the economy going on, industry conditions, financial strength of the company, how is the company performing, like what are the profits, what are the expenses, are there any debts, are there they are expanding the businesses, how is the overall financials of the company, that is considered while taking fundamental analysis. And in technical analysis, we see traders attempt to identify the opportunity by looking the statistical trends charts such as movements in the stocks prices and volume. And another point is stock charts is to identify the patterns and trends that suggest what stock will be good in the near future. So we find all these things through technical analysis. Technical analysis is used on all asset classes, like from equities to commodities, and NCX, like NCX, where we trade more copper, crude, agri commodities, and commodities like silver, gold, bullions, and everything. So it is used, once you can use technical analysis on every like aspects from equity to commodities. So there are basically 4 golden rules in equity market. Market discounts everything. History repeats itself, and stock price moves in a trend. And most important point is stop loss is in your hand. मतलब मार्केट में सिर्फ एक ही चीज आपके हाथ में, स्टॉप लॉस रखना, बाकी तो मार्केट डायनामिक होता है, और मार्केट इज ऑलवेज सुप्रीम, मतलब आप कितना भी आउटबीट नहीं कर सकते हो मार्केट को. तो बेसिकली द ओनली थिंग इज इन योर हैंड इज स्टॉप लॉस. So market discounts everything means what? Just for example, जब कोविड स्टार्ट हुआ था, न्यूज सर्कुलेट होना स्टार्ट हुआ था कि कोविड हो रहा है, इसे ग्लोबली सब जगह पे इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है. तो बेसिकली कोविड का स्टार्ट हुआ था February 2020 में, राइट. तो वहां से मार्केट ने ऑलरेडी डिस्काउंट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया था. लाइक मार्केट ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड क्रैशिंग, लाइक एवरी डे देयर वाज अ लोअर सर्किट, एवरी स्टॉक वाज फॉलिंग. सो नो वन नोज कि क्या होने वाला है. तो मार्केट ऑलरेडी ये सब डिस्काउंट कर रहा था. द डे मोदी जी हैज केम एंड टोल्ड कि 24th March 2020 there will be lockdown for 21 days. From that day, market never fell back. From that day, market started moving upward channel. So basically, this is the market future forecast करता है. तो मार्केट को पहले ही पता है कि क्या फैक्टर होने चाहिए, तो वो हिसाब से वो पहले ही डिस्काउंट कर लेता है सारी चीजें. तो ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है कि जिस दिन से लॉकडाउन स्टार्ट हुआ उस दिन से मार्केट सिर्फ ऊपर गया, कभी नीचे नहीं आया वो लेवल से. लाइक फ्रॉम 12,000 13,000 निफ्टी it came down to 7,000 7,500, and from there upward journey started till 14 15,000. Second point is history repeat itself. Means what कि स्टॉक एक एक पैरामीटर में या एक चैनल में ट्रेड होता है जनरली. अभी आपने बुधवार सुना होगा कि लाइक बाय आईटीसी एट 200, स्टॉप लॉस इज 198. तो ये कहाँ से आया, किसने बोला है, ऐसा क्यों होता है? तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली हिस्ट्री रिपीट होता है. तो हिस्ट्री रिपीट मतलब एक चैनल में स्टॉक ट्रेड होता है तो प्राइस ऊपर और नीचे जाती है. तो वो जो एरियाज है वो टेक्निकल चार्ट्स यूज करके हम कंसिडर कर सकते हैं. तो प्राइस वो रेंज में जब जा रही है तो वो टाइम पे हम लोग क्या लेवल पे स्टार्ट करें, क्या लेवल पे बाइंग करें और क्या लेवल पे स्टॉप लॉस लगाए, ये सब बेसिकली चार्ट्स डिराइव होते हैं फ्रॉम द हिस्टोरिकल डेटा. लाइक चार्ट हैज एवरी कैंडलस्टिक इज derived from the historical data. Then we have seen this market discount everything, history repeat itself. And the last point was stock price move in a trend. Stock price move in a trend as in there are some, like you can see in the screen, like price थोड़ा ऊपर जाता है फिर वापस कमिंग डाउन, अगेन गोइंग अपवर्ड एंड कमिंग डाउन. दिस इज द लाइक ट्रेंड. सडनली ऐसे कोई भी नहीं, कुछ नहीं हो सकता कि डायरेक्ट मार्केट कुछ स्टॉक सडनली 50% ऊपर हो गया, अनलेस एंड अनटिल कोई एक न्यू स्पेसिफिक उसमें कुछ ये रहे क्राइटेरियाज. सो सबसे मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट while considering the technical analysis is resistance and support. So अगर ये समझ गया तो मेजरली टेक्निकल एनालिसिस इतना कोई डिफिकल्ट जॉब नहीं है. तो आप भी मतलब बैठ के थोड़ा आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो. देयर आर साइट्स लाइक ट्रेडिंग व्यू, यू कैन गो and just watch whatever stock you are in your portfolio, and you can see the range which where it is trading. So support and resistance is the major thing where we can identify stocks and we can take actions, or we can buy and sell. We can do trading considering support and resistance. So what is support and what is resistance? Resistance is something which stops the price to rise further. It's the area where a trader expect to maximum where traders expect maximum supply or profit booking will be there. So in this chart I have covered SBI's chart. So near 530 540 level there is a resistance, like stock going in a trend, like upward trend ऊपर गया, उसके बाद ये एरिया थोड़ा सप्लाई जोन होता है, यहाँ पे प्रॉफिट बुक होता है. तो ये वापस वहाँ पे प्रॉफिट बुकिंग होके एक ट्रेंड में वापस नीचे आया. अगेन इट गोज बैक इन अपवर्ड चैनल. Then again at the same level there are profit booking. So this is called like this is like profit booking, or this is like a supply channel. So traders do like book profit here and again waiting for the opportunity to come down. Same way there is support as well. So support means what? It's something which prevents price to fall further. It's the area where trader expect maximum demand, or we can use this opportunity to buying the stocks. So so we can keep stop loss by near this demand zone. As we can see, history repeat itself. So market, stock going up, coming down, again going up, again coming down. But this area has been bought by the traders or mutual funds or FIIs. So this is the area where everyone is interested, because this is the area where risk reward is favorable, right? So people again buying here at the support, and again like after some upward movement, they try to book profit. And this is the support and resistance. This is the two area where we can use technical analysis, and we can identify stocks and trade accordingly. Resistance and support are the trading range of the shares, right? This is the chart I have shared already. So basically, how do we trade? अभी तो समझ गया कि सपोर्ट क्या है, रेजिस्टेंस क्या है, बट उस पे ट्रेड कैसे करना है. So buy on reversal from support zones, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the support zone area, right? So basically, whenever we see buying interest here, like green candles, or there are some few candlesticks that represent some patterns. So we can consider these as like for this at the first point, we can see at the support area there is a hammer called hammer candle. So this indicates the buying pressure from the traders. So we can add here. We can buy stocks here and keep stop loss at the support level, like the black line which I have drawn. और थोड़ा सा नीचे भी stop loss consider कर सकते हो wherever you find these candles. Just like that, you have bought this, and after that it is going up, and at this resistance point you are able to book your profit, or you can hold this or you can trail this if you want to. Again, price coming down. So here again this type of like reversal candle is forming, and you can buy this again at these levels and keep stop loss, like जैसे भी प्राइस होगा 1% or something like that, you can keep stop loss there, and you can trade accordingly. So horizontally जब भी ट्रेड होता है स्टॉक कोई चैनल के अंदर, तो वो ज्यादा बेटर ट्रेड होता है रादर देन थोड़ा ट्रेन लाइन पे होता है. तो ये सेटअप्स थोड़े बेटर होते हैं ट्रेड करने के लिए. Or whenever you find reversal candlestick with volume, only if there is a pattern that I was talking about, this is the hammer pattern. You find this pattern and you can you can go for the trade. Just like that support पे जैसा buying होता है, you can sell on the resistance. So resistance पे यहाँ पे ऐसे लग रहा है कि यहाँ से further up move नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये supply zone है, right? So yeah, you can book profit here, and again you can create a short position here also on the resistance side, and keep stop loss like 1% or something like that, whatever it's comfortable, and you can short your position and keep trailing it, and you can book profit in shorts as well. So basically स्टॉक प्राइस मूव्स इन अ ट्रेंड. ये चैनल के अंदर ट्रेड हुआ तो आपको मतलब थोड़ा कह सकते कि ये बेटर ट्रेड सेटअप्स है रादर देन लाइक दिस सपोर्ट एंड रेजिस्टेंस जो ये चैनल होता है. तो बेसिकली अभी मैंने जो ये वाला दिखाया, ये हॉरिजॉन्टली ट्रेड हो रहा था चैनल में. अभी इसमें टू टाइप के सपोर्ट्स एंड रेजिस्टेंस बनते हैं. ये चैनल एक अपवर्ड चैनल होता है और एक डाउनवर्ड चैनल होता है. सो दिस इज द वन पॉइंट वेयर वी कैन सी सपोर्ट. स्टॉक गोज अप then you can see one resistance. Again, some people try to book profit here. Then price coming down again. Then this is the area, this is the trend line. So you can again add here, if you see some candles, reversal candle here, you can add again here, and you can trade accordingly. So this type of trades, like this type of trade, this is a channel where you can trade as per support and resistance area. I'll show you one, like this is the Century Textile stock, where you can see support and resistance in upward and downward trend lines. Like this is the area, the stock was going up and again coming back to the channel, and trading in that particular channel. So this was the resistance, and coming down again, this was the support. But this was the falling channel. So this is the opportunity where we can sell the stock and keep trailing it. So it is going down, again coming back, but coming back near resistance, but not moving upward. So this is the area where again supply zone creates and trader again sell, yeah, short here. So this was the falling trend line. So stock was going downward only. Finally, the movement here, we can see some reversal candles here. So this is the area where we can expect the reversal in stock. So finally, down falling trend line channel, it breaks falling trend line channel and started trading into new area, yeah, new trading zone. Again coming back down here, and started new journey, which is like after falling trend line, there was a rising trend line. While considering, while drawing these trend lines, you have to consider that bullish, bearish candles in your trend line, so that uh, we will have to book small stop losses. Trend zone is like क्लॉक जो होता है अपना, लाइक 1.5 पीएम से 4.5 पीएम, जो ये एंगल होता है, ये एंगल में ही ट्रेंड लाइन अगर आप ड्रॉ करेंगे तो वो बेटर सेटअप होगा. आप एकदम वर्टिकली लाइन कोई ड्रॉ करेंगे तो वो अच्छा सेटअप नहीं होता है, वो इतना मतलब वर्क नहीं करेगा टेक्निकल पे. सो बेटर कि थोड़ा स्लोपिंग चैनल रहे हमेशा. तो ये क्लॉकवाइज एक्यूरेसी में ये वाले इसमें बेटर रहेगा अगर आप ट्रेड करोगे तो. So support and resistance are horizontal areas on chart that shows potential buying and selling pressure. Trend line isn't horizontal but sloping. So there are two types of resistance and support area. एक नॉर्मल जो हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन होता है वो वाला, एंड सेकेंडली जो ट्रेंड लाइन होता है राइजिंग एंड फॉलिंग ट्रेंड लाइन. देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ सपोर्ट एंड रेजिस्टेंस. There are two types of supports and resistance area, like trend line rising and falling, and horizontal trend lines. So this is the chart where this is in upward channel. EID, this is stock of EID Perry. So it is going up, and again like you can see here, थोड़ा ऊपर गया, फिर sideways हुआ, again going up, but not breaking this channel. So it is trading in channel. This is upward channel where this is the area we have seen. This is like that only. This is upward channel where stock is going upward by making higher highs and higher lows. This is the another chart of LNT, where you can see the same way, stock going up and going down, but it was in upward channel, so it is going up only. Like अच्छा ट्रेंड में है या स्टॉक बुलिश मोड में है, सो थोड़ा लोग बना के वापस बाइंग इंटरेस्ट जनरेट हो रहा है और अगेन पीपल आर बाइंग दिस स्टॉक, सो मेकिंग न्यू हायर हाइज एंड गोइंग अप फ्रॉम 1860 this level, it's making new high and gone till 2364. So how to draw trend line? So basically you can draw trend line, focus only on the major swing points or wicks. Connect at least 3 major swing points or wicks, adjust it to the adjust it so that you get the most number of touches to the candle of the wick. So in this, we can see that in upward channel we are connecting these like wicks. We can say these are the wicks. This is 1.2, 3, 4, 5 point. We have covered more than 3 or 4 points. So this is the perfect trend line you can ask for, and you can draw according to this. So you can use this as a trend line. You can understand, is it in uptrend or is it in downtrend? So 3 major point you have to consider while drawing this trend line is connect 3 major points and adjust that you can connect most number of touches. There are more points touching to the trend line, higher the chances of successful breakout or breakdown. Go only for those breakouts or breakdowns where touch points before break are at least 3. So basically we have seen these trend lines. We can draw a chart accordingly, and after that we can come to the we are coming back to the next point where we interpret the candlesticks. So technical charts are depend on the candlesticks, how we see interpret candlesticks. So this is the candlestick where we see green candle. This means there is a buying interest in the market, and the upper shadow or upper wick where prices just go high but coming back down, some profit booking is done and closing near this line. This is the body. We call this green part as a body, and upper side or lower side we call this is a shadow or wick. Just like that, uh, there is a green candle means there is a buying interest, and in a red candle we can see there is a selling interest. So this is the open means this is the price where stock opens, and selling comes. Suppose this is the price where this is the price of Reliance where stock opened at 2400, but at that day there was a selling pressure on Reliance, and people are selling this stock, and from 2400 stock coming down to 2300. So this is the area and closes at this area. So this is how the candle is made. You can interpret this as the candle is made by opening at the higher level and going down and closing there. That means there was the selling pressure in the stock, and uh, uh, there was a selling pressure in candle, and stock closed at the day lows. Just like that, suppose this is the candle of ITC. It has opened near 400 rupees and continues from the day started. It goes back a little bit, retraced little bit, and after that coming back upward again, and after that it has closed at the day high. So it has closed, just for example, it has closed near 410 rupees ITC stock. So you can interpret this as a buying interest and selling interest, and you can interpret candles like this. So how to trade, how to buy stock, or how to find stock where you can enter in the stocks. So buy on support, we have seen the support side, and buy on support or demand zone. If reversal candle with volume with patterns in smaller time frame like 15 minutes, there are candles you can use multi time frame analysis for interpret the candles. So there is a candle for 5 minutes till 1 month. You can check this candle. I'll show you in, I'm disconnected. No. Hope you can see this chart, right? So this is the bank nifty chart where you can this is the trading view site where you can see multi time frame chart. This I have considered this 5 minute candle. So you can check these candles by the putting 5 minute trend. So it is the in 5 minutes this candle is made. Again, after 5 minutes, another candle is made. So you can check in downside 9:15 it has opened, and you can see here open at 42,802. That candle has gone till 4200, 872. This is the area where you can see open, high, low. This is the 5 minutes candle till 1 month. You can consider use this as monthly candles also to interpret the stock. So buy on the support or demand zone if reversal candle with volume with patterns in the smaller time frame. Then buy when price breaks the resistance. Do not carry if price closes with the bigger upper wick. I have shown this is the wick. If this is the wick, there is a selling coming in, so do not go for that trade. Buy when the price closes above the resistance with the higher volume for medium term to positional traders. If you have missed the breakout, buy on the retest or confirmation of reversal candle reversal candle formation. For high accuracy in breakout trade, those setup where price consolidation before the breakout or swing low is very close to the breakout or touch point at least 3 for the breakout. These are the buying rule. Just like this, these are the selling rule. Sell on the resistance or demand zone if reversal candle with volume and with patterns on the smaller time frame. Sell when price breaks the support. Do not carry if price close with the big upper wick. Sell when price closes below the support with the higher volume for the medium term to positional traders. If missed the sale, if you have missed to sell at the breakdown, sell on the retest of the confirmation or reversal candle formation. So stop loss rule. So basically stop loss rules are only thing that is in your hand. Find the nearest support for the all traders and investor and place SL below that. Intraday traders can place SL for the day low or the previous day low, and swing lows. It's the same first point. If swing low is far, then find another swing low on the smaller time frame. So stop loss rules are, if prices are rising continuously since 3-4 days, don't buy on breakout. There are higher chances of profit booking on resistance. Buy after consolidation or retest. Avoid buying on resistance. Like do not buy stock if it is at resistance or breakout. If price reached on the resistance after long period of say 3 to 6 month, अगर कोई स्टॉक 3 या 6 महीने के बाद वापस सेम लेवल पे आ रहा है, तो डू नॉट गो एंड बाय दिस स्टॉक. लेट इट कंसोलिडेट एट दैट लेवल, and if breaks out, then go for it. If stop loss is big, do not go into the trade. Just avoid the trade. Find another opportunity. Avoid those breakouts where price has already moved up to the 8 to 10% in last previous sessions. So avoid those stocks where move have already come. So do not consider that this 8 to 10% is for cash setup, and for FNO setup there are 3 to 4% if stock has already like given up move of 3 to 4% in derivative or futures and option stock. Do not try to enter that stock. So how do we find the breakout of the stock? I have already like shared the slide of support and resistance, where we see buying at the support and selling at the resistance. Just like that, in this case, there is finally the resistance has broke and stock has gone up. This is here we call as a breakout of the stock. So at the breakout, you can enter at this candle and you can trail your stop losses and continue to hold stock until you book profit. So whenever we see the breakout, stock generally again fall back and come back to this level. Now this level was resistance will act as a support, as because this has given the breakout. So previous resistance of the stock has been broke out and again coming back to this level. So this resistance now become the support level. So this is the area. If you have missed the enter at the breakout, let it cool down, let it retrace the stock, and again if it has come down to retest levels, you can add here and you can further trail the SL and go for the up move. Always keep in mind, multiple touch on horizontal resistance line are the best setups for the trade. I'll show you some example. This is the another point to be considered while considering the breakout. So approx 70% accuracy in these types of setups where price consolidate before breaking out near resistance zone and continuously touching the resistance line. Like this is the, just for example, consider this as a SBI chart, and this is the area of resistance. If you can consider this, this is the 500 rupees price where stock was facing resistance previously, here also, like here also, and on these area also, like 500 was the area where continuous selling is coming, but sellers are not that active, so price is not falling down to like from 500 to 450. Just consider this as a 10 rupees price. So price was trading in the narrow channel for 500 to 490 levels. So consider this as a good built up area. So if price is trading in limited channel, you can consider this is a good setup to enter into the stock and you can go for the breakout. In this type of structure, you get 70% of your accuracy if you can identify these types of stocks. Just like that breakout, you can see the breakdowns. So multiple test of the support before breaking down. So you can see this area as a support where you are seeing like price here coming and some buying interest coming again, and the stock moves further upward, again coming back here. Again you can see some green candle again going upward. So it was trading in this channel. Finally the stock has broke this area. Finally the stock has broke this area. So this can be considered as the breakdown of the stock, and you can consider this for the selling of the stock. Just like breakout, this is the breakout, this is the breakdown of the stocks, and you can sell this and create short position in this. This is the example, just like we have seen in the breakout. But you have to consider the 150% of the average 50-day volume for the breakdown for the higher accuracy. If you see this type of pattern where you are considering the stock to be fall, you have to consider there should be the higher volume than the previous day. So you can consider this as good breakdown of the stock, and you can sell further. For better accuracy, you have to consider the more people are selling, so more people are aggressively selling. So this is the good set. Again you can consider this. This is the area, like this is the stock of Reliance. 2300 was the price here. So it is going 2300 to 2320 and coming back down again, trading in the same channel. And once the 2300 broke, it is fall down till 2200. This is just an example. I'm just telling in an example. So basically, how to interpret the price volumes. सब बोलते हैं ना कि भाव भगवान छे, तो how to interpret this when any stock price is going upward with the volume. So you can consider this as stock has the bullish momentum, or stock counter is very strong. People are buying this. For this price also increasing, like 100 रुपए का स्टॉक 105 110 रुपए हो रहा है, और वही टाइम पे वॉल्यूम भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है. सो पीपल आर कंटिन्यूअसली बाइंग दिस स्टॉक. सपोज किसी ने सो बेसिकली stock market trade on demand and supply. So price increases, and the basic principle of demand and supply, when demand increases, price increases. So people are willing to buy this stock on on more prices. Like 100 रुपए का स्टॉक 105 रुपए हुआ, तो लोग वहां पे भी इंटरेस्टेड थे. तो लोग इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ से शायद से स्टॉक 110 115 भी हो सकता है. सो वो कंसिडर करते वक्त प्राइस भी बढ़ रहा है और वॉल्यूम भी बढ़ रहा है. सो मोर पीपल आर कमिंग टू बाय दिस स्टॉक एट द हायर प्राइस. सो यू कैन इंटरप्रेट दिस एज अ stock is bullish and price is continuing to rise. Just like that, if price is rising, पर अभी 115 रुपया प्राइस हो गया कोई स्टॉक का, पर यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम नहीं आ रहा है. पहले सपोज 1000 लोग बाय करने के लिए आ रहे थे स्टॉक, अभी 1000 में से सिर्फ 200-300 ही लोग आ रहे. बाइंग हो रहा है, 115 का 116 हुआ, 117 हुआ, बट यहाँ पे अभी बाय करने के लिए 200 या 300 ही लोग आए थे. यहाँ पे अभी ज्यादा लोग नहीं आए. जैसे जब भी प्राइस 102 104 रुपए था, तभी 1000 लोग बाय करने के लिए आ रहे थे. अभी सिर्फ 112 115 प्राइस होने के बाद अभी यहाँ पे रिलेटिवली कम लोग इंटरेस्टेड है, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी एक मूव आ गया है स्टॉक में. सो यू कैन कंसिडर दिस एज अ प्रॉफिट बुकिंग साइन, वेयर यू कैन सी अभी थोड़ा अपवर्ड ट्रेंड जो है वो खत्म होने पे आया है, और थोड़ा अभी यहाँ से शायद से स्टॉक साइडवेज होगा. जस्ट लाइक दैट, अगर प्राइस गिरना स्टार्ट हो गया विथ द वॉल्यूम, प्राइस इज फॉलिंग, और अभी सपोज ये स्टॉक 120 रुपए हो गया. 120 रुपए होने के बाद अभी लोग ऐसे लोगों को अभी यहाँ पे लग रहा है कि ये अच्छा मूव आ गया है, अभी यहाँ पे प्रॉफिट बुकिंग करना स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. तो जो इनिशियली जो 1000 people who were interested to buying at the 102 103 price, now they have they'll be like active and they'll start to selling the stock. So हजार वापस 120 रुपए पे 1000 लोग जो बाद में जो कम डाउन मतलब 1000 लोग जो पहले इनिशियली बाय करने आए थे वही 1000 लोग शायद से अभी सेल करने के लिए आ रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम भी बढ़ गया और प्राइस भी गिरना चालू हो गया। सो 120 का 115 112 रुपया वापस स्टॉक प्राइस हो गया। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि मोर पीपल आर इंटरेस्टेड to sell the stock at this price, and for that price is also coming down and volume is also rising. And the last point is where अभी वापस stock price has came down at the 100 level 102 level where you can see वहां पे वॉल्यूम भी नहीं, जो 1000 लोग थे वो उन्होंने प्रॉफिट बुक कर दिया और एग्जिट कर दिया पोजीशन। अभी वहां पे वॉल्यूम भी नहीं हो रहा है और वो साइडवेज है, बस 1-2 रुपए का मूव हो रहा है। 100 रुपए से 102 रुपए हुआ, 101 रुपया हुआ, बस वही साइडवेज में। वहां पे ना वॉल्यूम है, कोई मतलब इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है ये प्राइस पे अगेन बाय करने को, या ये प्राइस पे कोई सेल करने को भी रेडी नहीं है। तो ये टाइम पे स्टॉक साइडवेज हो जाता है। तो ये सबसे मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट टूल है अगर आपको टेक्निकल एनालिसिस करना है। तो प्राइस प्राइस एंड वॉल्यूम मतलब दोनों जब साथ में इंटरप्रेट कर पाओगे तो आप टेक्निकल एनालिसिस और अच्छे तरीके से यूज कर पाओगे। सो बुलिश कैंडल्स कैसे इंटरप्रेट करते हैं? देयर मस्ट बी प्रायर डाउन ट्रेंड। हमने जस्ट एग्जांपल इधर देखते हैं ब्रेकआउट पे। there must be there must be proper down trend. Suppose 500 रुपीज से ये एरिया के रेजिस्टेंस से स्टॉक कंटिन्यूअसली नीचे आ रहा है। यहाँ से नीचे आने के बाद 400 लेवल पे प्राइस, यहाँ पे लोगों का बाइंग इंटरेस्ट कंटिन्यू ये हो रहा है, बिल्टअप हो रहा है। तो यहाँ पे लोग बाइंग करने के लिए आ रहे हैं और यहाँ पे तो अपना फर्स्ट जो कंडीशन है कभी स्टॉक बाय करना है, सो बेसिकली डाउन ट्रेंड होना चाहिए। सो यहाँ पे डाउन ट्रेंड आ गया, ये फर्स्ट कंडीशन फुलफिल हो गया अपना। सेकंड कंडीशन था candle formation must be at support or candle formation must be at the demand zone. So in this example यहाँ पे कैंडल स्टिक्स में पैटर्न बन रहा है और यहाँ पे डिमांड जोन है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कंटिन्यूअस बाइंग आ रहा है। जब भी यहाँ तक आया स्टॉक ये लेवल्स पे, यहाँ से वापस ऊपर गया, वापस थोड़ा नीचे आया, वापस ऊपर गया, वापस थोड़ा नीचे आया, और यहाँ पे कंटिन्यूअस बाइंग इंटरेस्ट बिल्टअप हो रहा था। तो सेकंड कंडीशन भी यहाँ पे फुलफिल हो गया कि सपोर्ट पे कैंडल और वहां पे डिमांड है। और फिर नाउ कंसीडर वॉल्यूम, वहां पे लोग बाइंग करने आ रहे हैं। कंसीडर नॉर्मल जहाँ पे एक वॉल्यूम का भी नीचे एक टैब होता है, तो मैं आई शो यू ऑन स्क्रीन। एंड फॉर बेटर this is more of a technical side, like for better accuracy trade when RSI is oversold. This is one indicator where we use technical where use tool where we use RSI as a indicator. Just like that, this was the buying condition. वैसे ही bearish candle कैसे फॉर्म होता है या सेल कैसे करना है, उसके लिए there must be prior uptrend. इन दिस एग्जाम्पल यहाँ से स्टॉक ऊपर गया और वहां से नीचे आ रहा है, तो बेसिकली ये प्रायर अप ट्रेंड था। यहाँ पे अप ट्रेंड आया, वहां से कंटिन्यूअस स्टॉक नीचे गिरने लग गया। सो फर्स्ट कंडीशन एंड सेकंड कंडीशन देयर वाज अ प्रायर अप ट्रेंड हो गया। कैंडल फॉर्मेशन मस्ट बी एट रेजिस्टेंस और कैंडल मस्ट फॉर्मेशन एट द सप्लाई जोन। सो बेसिकली ये रेजिस्टेंस ऐसे कंसिडर करेंगे कि यहाँ पे स्टॉक प्राइस आई और यहाँ पे कंटिन्यूस सेलिंग आया, यहाँ पे रेड कैंडल फॉर्म हुआ। सो इसका इंटरप्रेट ये करेंगे कि यहाँ पे सेलर्स थोड़े एक्टिव हो गए और यहाँ से नीचे स्टॉक क्रैश करना स्टार्ट हो गया। सो स्टॉक कमिंग बैक डाउन दिस इज द सेकेंड पॉइंट। और वहां पे वॉल्यूम अगेन डिमांड एंड सप्लाई में हमने देखा, प्राइस वॉल्यूम में देखा कि वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज हो रहा है, तो वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज हो रहा है इसका मतलब है कि लोग एक्टिवली आ रहे हैं और सेल कर रहे हैं स्टॉक। तो ये थर्ड पॉइंट था। एंड RSI, दिस इज अगेन अ टेक्निकल टूल, दिस विल आई skip for now. So basically what is the if you are, so अभी सबको टाइम नहीं रहता कि पूरे टाइम मार्केट में मतलब एक्टिवली ट्रेड करे या अपने स्टॉक्स जो भी पोर्टफोलियो के स्टॉक्स है वो आइडेंटिफाई करे। So these are some parameters which I have drawn. You can consider while investing in some like your holding period. According to that, you can do your investment. Suppose you are long-term investor, but लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर एज ऐसा कंसेप्ट अभी मैं पर्सनली कंसिडर नहीं करता हूँ, क्योंकि मार्केट डायनेमिक्स एवरी डे देर इज अ न्यू थिंग, न्यू लर्निंग इन मार्केट। मैक्रो डेटा लाइक यूएस में क्या चल रहा है, मैक्रो लेवल पे क्या चल रहा है, तो उसके वजह से मार्केट बहुत डायनामिक हो गया है। तो लॉन्ग टर्म ऐसा कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं रहा अभी। साइक ऑलमोस्ट बहुत सारे ऐसे मतलब पोजिशनल ट्रेड हो सकते हैं या कोई सेक्टरल रोटेशन होता है, तो आप वो वैसे कंसिडर करके ही इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हो। पर आप एटलीस्ट ये कंसिडर कर सकते हो, अगर आपका थोड़ा बड़ा टाइम होराइजन है तो आप 13 to 15 इन्वेस्टमेंट स्टॉक्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो, और आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड मोर देन 1 year और 2 year, आपको मतलब इस पे मोर, दिस इज मोर ऑफ अ फंडामेंटल साइड रादर देन टेक्निकल साइड। वैसे ही आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड 1 year और मोर है तो यहाँ पे टेक्नो फंडा एनालिसिस यूज कर सकते हो, कैंडल स्टिक्स यूज कर सकते हो, जहाँ पे मंथली, वीकली और डेली कैंडल्स यूज करके आप आपके पोर्टफोलियो स्टॉक्स आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो। जस्ट लाइक दैट, अगर आप मीडियम टर्म इन्वेस्टर हो तो आपका टाइम होराइजन ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इज 3 months to 1 year है, तो यू कैन अगेन यूज टेक्निकल एनालिसिस एंड कैंडलस्टिक्स। यू कैन गो फॉर लाइक डेली और वीकली कैंडलस्टिक्स आप आइडेंटिफाई करो, वहां पे रिवर्सल कोई मिल रहा है तो आप, अगर सपोर्ट जोन पे है तो आप वहां पे अगेन यू कैन ऐड दो स्टॉक्स। मैक्सिमम ओपन पोजीशन आप 8 to 10 रख सकते हो, और इन्वेस्टमेंट पर्पज के लिए ले रहे हो तो 35 to 45 कंसिडर कर सकते हो। अगर आप थोड़े एक्टिव हो मार्केट में तो, और आपका पोजिशनल व्यू है कोई तो भी कोई स्टॉक पे, तो आप वापस डेली टाइम फ्रेम एनालिसिस यूज कर सकते हो। तो वहां पे भी एक मंथ में आप मैक्सिमम 16 से 18 ट्रेड्स लो, उससे ज्यादा ट्रेड मत करो। मैक्सिमम ओपन पोजीशन 4 to 5 एट अ टाइम रख सकते हो आइडियली, क्योंकि उतना कंट्रोलेबल होगा। और लास्टली, अगर आप क्विक ट्रेडर्स हो, इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग आई वुड से ऐसा, इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग से बेटर आप कोई पोजिशनली ट्रेड करो। इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग थोड़ा रिस्की होता है, rather than that you use this as a positional trader, like एक वीक के अंदर का या 2-4 दिन का कोई सेटअप मिल रहा है तो आप उसमें आइडेंटिफाई करो, और उसमें आप मैक्सिमम 40 to 45 ट्रेड्स कर सकते हो इन अ मंथ। So this is the example. This is one indicator we call, this is the one indicator we call as a EMAs. Like EMAs is moving averages. So this is the chart of ITC. So when all the moving averages are compressed and coming at the same level, so this is the daily chart of the ITC. All the moving averages has compressed and came at the same level, where you can see at this level, or this line, this is the line of 3 moving averages, 20, 50, 100 and 200 days moving average. This is the indicator where you can use this as a in chart, and where you can see all the moving averages coming together. So इसका ऐसा इंटरप्रिटेशन कर सकते हो कि यहाँ पे स्टॉक कंसोलिडेशन में है। सो आईटीसी अभी आपको जो थोड़ा एक्टिवली स्टॉक मार्केट देखते हैं उनको तो पता होगा आईटीसी ने लास्ट 1 ईयर में आउट परफॉर्म किया मार्केट को। तो ये एक इंडिकेटर था, यहाँ पे आप कंसिडर कर सकते हो कि मार्च 22 में यहाँ पे सब मूविंग एवरेजेस, ऑलमोस्ट सब मूविंग एवरेजेस पास में आ गए थे। तो दिस इज द बेस्ट टाइम यू कैन कंसिडर इफ it is a good fundamentally strong stock. These moving averages doesn't work on all the stocks. If fundamentals, so basic backbone of the any stock you pick, there should be good fundamentals. After that only you can consider it using technical analysis to invest. So all moving averages as compressed and coming together, you can consider this as a good buying opportunity. And you can see stock has never came down at this black line. This is the 200-day moving average. After this, stock has only gone up from 200 levels to 425. Just like last Friday, it has touched all-time high ITC. This is the another example where you can see Glenmark, where all the moving averages again came down at the same level like 420, 430. 10-20 रुपए का थोड़ा सा कुछ माइनर डिफरेंस होगा, बट ऑल द मूविंग एवरेजेस हैज केम डाउन एट द केम एट द सेम लेवल. एंड सो ऐसे ये स्प्रिंग जैसे होता है, अगर सब मूविंग एवरेजेस पास में आ गए तो वो कंप्रेस होता है और फिर बिग ब्रेकआउट यू कैन सी. सो हियर यू कैन सी ये रेजिस्टेंस था, यहाँ पे 1 टाइम 2 टाइम टच हुआ, यहाँ पे 3rd टाइम टच हुआ, या 4th टाइम टच हुआ, वापस यहाँ पे बिल्टअप हुआ. जस्ट वी हैव सीन वन चार्ट वेयर वी हैव सीन वन बिल्टअप एरिया. सो ये एरिया में बिल्टअप हुआ और यहाँ से बड़ा ब्रेकआउट आया. सो दोनों कंडीशंस फुलफिल हुए अपने बाइंग के, कि हम लोगों ने अप ट्रेंड में था, अप ट्रेंड में यहाँ पे आके बिल्टअप हुआ, बिल्टअप होने के बाद यहाँ पे मूविंग एवरेजेस का भी हमको सपोर्ट मिला और यहाँ से बड़ा ब्रेकआउट मिला विथ वॉल्यूम्स. आप नीचे यहाँ पे ये वॉल्यूम का टैब है, यहाँ पे ये कंसिडर कर सकते हो. तो नॉर्मल कितना वॉल्यूम हो रहा है इस दिन में, और यहाँ से कंटिन्यूस वॉल्यूम बढ़ते ही गया, और यहाँ पे फ्रॉम 420 it has hit 465, 66 levels. Or one more point you can consider, this is the monthly chart of ITC. ITC has gone through big consolidation phase from 2013 till 2022. 9 years of consolidation. It was moving in the same limited price zone from 140 till 250, 260 levels. So stock has लाइक कॉम्प्रेस हो रहा था, एक ही लेवल में कंसोलिडेट हो रहा था. तो 9 साल से आईटीसी का स्टॉक एक लेवल पे कंप्रेस हो रहा था. तो यहाँ पे जब भी ऐसे कोई अच्छे फंडामेंटल स्टॉक्स मिलते हैं जो बहुत टाइम से एक ट्रेडिंग जोन में या ट्रेडिंग रेंज में ट्रेड कर रहे हैं, तो वहां पे आपको बड़ा कंसोलिडेशन मिलता है, तो बड़ा ब्रेकआउट मिलता है. Again, this is the example of Reliance. Same 8 year of consolidation. Reliance was trading in the same zone, and after that we have seen the big breakout. Like price has gone 3x to 4x like that. And this is the example which I have identified currently. Exide Industries. It is continuously from 11 year. It is in the same price range, trading in the same price range from 280 to 180 or 160, this level. I don't know, might be we'll get a big breakout in this also. This was the just finding. So I think I've done for this. Thank you so much for listening to me. Hello. there are some sites. There are some sites which can be used as a where you can find the stocks. This is the charting stock site where you can find the stocks. After clicking this, you can find 15-minute stock breakouts where already with some of the filter, you can check these are the filter stock you get, and these are the latest stock where you have seen the breakout where you can see price moving higher. All these stocks has given 10 to 15 to 5% return in between. Just like that, there is another site. There is another site called iCharts where you can see daily trading trending stocks where you can see the long built up, short built up, short winding, highest price gainer, price loser, OI gainers. And another site, one more site is a screener where you can just go through this and you can find some basic screens, basics, fundamental on any stock. Like this is the PI industry stock. You can see market cap, ROEC, ROC, ROEC, book value, face value, and peer comparison, their sales, profits, balance sheets, all you can see from this side. And cash flows, promoter holding, you can see from this side, screeners. So I think I have completed my presentation. Thank you so much. Hello.
So you are audible to us?
Yes. Hello, ma'am. I'm done.
Okay, sir. All right.
Yeah.
And sir, thank you so much for a lovely deliberation. And sir, like I have a question from somebody, that is
Yeah.
Vishwanathan ji. He says that suggests software available for technical analysis.
Software, I have shared some software as in you want to find setups or for like for what you need for screeners or what?
For technical analysis, sir, that's it.
I'll share. I have shared in my presentation. There are some stocks screeners. You can do charting on Trading View, and I have just share some chart INC करके एक site है. Then iCharts है, stock screener है. Yeah, that's it. And trading view where you can like go and do charting.
Thank you, sir. And one request is that please share PPT for our further study.
Yeah, sure. I'll share.
All right. So thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful deliberation. It was
Thank you.
amazing and very helpful to all the participants. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now I invite the third speaker of the session, and that is Anmol Rana. Very good evening to you, sir.
Very good evening.
So I welcome you to this session, and everyone is waiting desperately to hear from you. Before you go, let me please give the little introduction to everyone. So, Sir Anmol Rana is a senior partner in Anmol Rana and Associates. He has an extensive experience of 14 plus years in bank audit, internal audit, statutory audit, tax audit, corporate audit, direct and indirect tax compliance. He was a special invitee of Direct Tax Committee of NIRC of ICI for the year 2022-23, and he has delivered webinars on NIRC of ICAI. He's a regular speaker on various CPE study circles and public platforms for various topics like stock exchange, social audits, RO bank audits. And he has a vast experience in internal audit and statutory audit, having experience in legal and financial advisories to various NGOs and charitable institutions. He is impaneled on various nationalized banks like SBI, PNB, Canara Bank, Central Bank of India, Union Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Indian Overseas Bank, UCO Bank, Karnataka Bank for various audit or inspection of banks and its auditors and its borrowers. And I think the list is endless, sir. But so I end my introduction because your introduction is really great. And I welcome you to please share your knowledge with other participants so that we can benefit from it. So please.
Sure, ma'am.
Sir.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Very good evening to all of the participants. So first of all, I would like to thanks to the entire team of this committee, and special thanks to chairman and my elder brother Nanda sir, who always gave me motivation for professionally and personally also, and the vice chairman sir also. And I can understand the situation is there. Today is a Saturday evening, and all of the participants are must waiting for the session. And today, I can assure you that earlier our co-speakers Rajesh ji and Manish ji has delivered wonderful session. With the help of that sessions, I think you can earn and you can improve your techniques for the investment in social markets. So today I will deliver a session. That is a new topic, social stock exchange. So this is a very new to all of us. And before in 2022, we started to learn the new concept, social stock exchange. So today I will just a moment. Yeah. So today I will discuss the not about the financial profit as discussed by our earlier co-speakers. So, but instead of that, today I will discuss the social return, social cost, social return. With the help of that, we can do something for our society, as it is the duty of all of us to do something for our society in return, what we are getting from the society. So let's start with our today's session regarding the social stock exchange. Social stock exchange is a new concept regarding the fundraising. It is a basic electronic fundraising platform for social enterprises. So let's move ahead. So yeah. So when we started to learn about that topic, about this new concept, social stock exchange, First time we hear this word social stock exchange by our honorable finance minister in her budget speech for the financial year 29-20. So in this speech, she used the word social stock exchange and gave us the new thought how the corporate sector and the social enterprises can come together and do something for the society. So that is the initiate, as per the budget speech, initiate step toward creating social stock exchange under the regulatory ambit of Social Securities Exchange Board of India for listing social enterprises and voluntary organizations. What is that? For listing social enterprises and voluntary organizations, so that the important term is so that they can raise capital as equity, debt, or as units as mutual fund. So here is the component, is the crux of the budget speech. What was the use, what she used at that time? So important is that it is time to take our capital market closer to the masses and meet various social objectives related to increasing the growth in the financial inclusion. So basic idea was that at that time of the government and the finance minister, just to bring both the entities, corporate sector and the social enterprises on the same platform so that they can come together and do for the society, for the do work for the benefit of the society. Let's come to the next point. Here is the global presence. What is the global stock exchange? What is the international presence of the social stock exchange? Here I would like to tell you that in the earlier 7 countries, just like Canada, Jamaica, Singapore, Brazil, Portugal, South Africa, and United Kingdom, they have the social stock exchange in their country. But here is some update that only in Canada, Jamaica, and Singapore that is working. In other countries, at present, it's not working. Now, the 8th number, our country, India, has started work on social stock exchange. And there is a good news also that social stock exchange is live now on the portal of NSE. That we will discuss on the later part of our session. So here is the need of the word social stock exchange. Why the government thought about the social stock exchange? What was the basic idea behind that? So all of us know that we have faced a very demanding situation of COVID-19. At the COVID-19, everybody was facing his tough time. On the part, the government and the state government and the central government both were working their best. Along with that, our corporate sectors and social enterprises also come together for the help of our governments, and they did very well work. But at the same point, there is the issue always in front of the social enterprises of the corporate. Also, there is some financial problems also there, financial lapses. Without the financial help, no project can be run. All the things cannot be done in the planned way. So that is the basic idea behind the social stock exchange, to come together all the corporate sector and the social enterprises. It will unlock the large pool of social capital, enabling commercial capital to the partner with the social capital. Here the word is used, social capital. You can understand the word social capital. Yeah. Here is the journey of the social stock exchange. Here earlier I told you that in the first 2019, in the 5th July 2019 budget speech, first our finance minister used the terminology social stock exchange. Only after that, the government, direction of the government, on September 19, 2019, there was a constitution of working group, and on the 21st September 20, there was a constitution of the technical group. And after that, on the 6th May 2021, report of the technical group was prepared and submitted. And on the 1st June 2021, report of working group also submitted. On the basis of all the information, On 25th July 2022, SEBI issued some of the notifications through the gadgets and the regulations also. And on 19th September 2022, SEBI also issued framework via circular. Framework how to make social, how they can issue their what are the legal requirements and how they can raise the funds. All the work has been mentioned in the framework. And on December 22, final approval was given to the BSE for the making social stock exchange live, and the final note also given in the March 2023 to the NSE. Yeah. On the next part here, regulations, as I already told you that on the 25th July, SEBI issued some of the regulations via third amendment, issue of ICDR requirements, third amendment, regulations 2022. With this help, they issued some of the regulations regarding the social stock exchange. What are these regulations? We will discuss in the next part. Yeah. Here is the definitions part. As I told you, there the regulations were issued. ICDR regulations amendment 2022. Earlier there was chapter 10 and 11. After that amendment, there was a new chapter introduced, chapter 10A, where many of the regulations were also introduced. In the first regulation 292A, there are the definitions mentioned for all the things. So, what was the first definition here? First definition is social enterprises. What is the social enterprises? Social enterprises means either not-for-profit organizations or for-profit organizations that meets the eligibility criteria. Here the important part is meets the eligibility criteria. Earlier in our thought, there was thing that only the NGO can be the social enterprises. But here the terminology is changed and the government says for-profit organizations also can be the social enterprises. But there are some of the conditions mentioned in the regulations and the framework, which for the profit organizations, which meets the eligibility criteria, they can also be social enterprises. So the next is what is social stock exchange is. Social stock exchange is a separate segment. Here the important is separate segment. It is not a stock exchange like BSE or the NSE. It is only the segment of the existing social stock exchange having nationwide terminals permitted to register NPO or list securities issued by the non-profit organization. Simple. And what is the non-profit organizations here? What is NPO? NPO means it can be either charitable trust, it can be either society, it can be company incorporated under Section 8, or any other entity may be specified by the board in the coming future. But at present, only the trust, society, or the company incorporated under Section 8. So here is the next definition. For-profit social enterprises. Important, very, very important. For profit social enterprises means a company or a body corporate operating for profit. Here the word very, very important is operating for profit, which is social enterprises. And important is does not include company incorporated under Section 8. This under Section 8 company is not covered here because it has already been covered by under the definition of non-profit organizations. Next. The next is fundraising document. Fundraising document means draft fundraising document and final fundraising document. Both are called fundraising document. The next is draft fundraising document. What is the draft fundraising document? It is a fundraising document filed with the social stock exchange in relation to public issue of zero coupon, zero principal. That is a new terminology introduced here, ZCZP, by the non-profit organization registered with the social stock exchange. That is called the draft fundraising document. So next definition is final fundraising document. It means final fundraising document filed with the social stock exchange pursuant to incorporation of the observation. What all the observations in regarding to the draft fundraising document having social stock exchange, and all these observations have been incorporated in the final fundraising document. Only after that it can be submitted to the social stock exchange for final listing. Yeah, here is very important for our professionals, brothers also. What is the social auditor? Social auditor, it is. Social auditor means individual registered with the SRO, self-regulatory organization, as may be specified by the board, who holds a valid certificate and qualified a certification program conducted by the SRO. There is important. Here important is not the chartered accountant word is used. The word is used individual registered. There are the some of the conditions there. Who can be the social auditor, that we can discuss in the any other session. The word. So next is there social audit firm. What is the social audit firm here? Social audit firm means entity which has employed social auditor and has track record minimum 3 years for conducting social impact assessment. The important is only those firms will be entitled, will be called as social audit firm which has employed the social auditor and has the importantly track record of minimum 3 years. That is very important for the social audit firm. Next. Earlier we have discussed regulation 292A. Next regulation is under the chapter 10A of the ICDR regulations, applicability of provisions. What is this? Applicability of provisions means not-for-profit organizations seeking only to get registered with the social stock exchange. Those non-profit organizations who wish to register themselves at the social stock exchange, all the compliance, all the provisions will be applicable on those. Also, not-for-profit organizations to get registered and raise funds. Here the word is registered and raise funds, both the terms. First, in the first point, we discuss only on the registered, those firms who want to register themselves. But here in the second point is those firms, those social enterprises who want to register and the raise funds also to the social stock exchange. On those, all the provisions will be applicable. The next is for-profit enterprises also seeking to be identified as social enterprises. Those profit-making enterprises, for-profit social enterprises who want to be as a social enterprises, on those also, this all the provisions will be applicable. The next is access to social stock exchange. The next regulation is 292C. To whom that is accessible? It is accessible only to the institutional investors and the non-institutional investors. Yeah. The next regulations, very important regulations. It will take time also. Eligibility conditions for social enterprises. Yeah. Regulations 292E. Very important for all. Either for the professionals also, our brother CAs also, and for the non-profit organizations also. That is very important condition, regulation for social enterprises. That is the base of this social stock exchange, I can say. You can understand also. For the purpose of this regulation, non-profit organizations or for-profit social enterprises to be identified social enterprises must establish a social intent. There must be a social element in the both the conditions on the non-profit organizations also and the for-profit organizations also. There must be a social element. What is the social intent? We will cover in the next part. How we can judge there is a social intent. Yeah. Here is the 16 activities. If any of the social enterprises, either non-profit organizations or the for-profit entities, if they are doing any of these 16, out of these 16, if they are doing any of the activity, they will be covered First eligibility criteria, social intent. They can check with their first condition. Here are the 16 activities. They are covered as the SDG, social development goals. The first one is eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and inequality. The second is promoting health care, including mental health care, sanitation, and making available safe drinking water. The next is promoting education, employability, and livelihoods. And the fourth one is promoting gender equality. Those entities working on this, they can assume that they have covered the first stage, social element. Empowerment of women. The next is ensuring environmental sustainability. Next is protection of the national heritage. Next is training to promote rural sports. The next is supporting incubators of social enterprises. Next is supporting other platforms also. That is also covered. The next is promoting livelihoods of the rural and the urban poor, including enhancing income, the small and the marginal farmers. Next is slum area development, affordable housing, and the interventions to build sustainable and the silent cities. Silent. Those organizations are working for the slum area development and the affordable housings. Those can also be covered here. Disaster management, the entities working for the disaster management, including relief, rehabilitation, and the reconstruction activities that can also be covered. Promotion of financial inclusions, facilitating access to the land and the property assets. Next is bridging the digital divide in the internet and the mobile access. Next is promoting welfare of the migrant and the displaced persons. I'm here again to say, if any of the entity, either non-profit organizations, for-profit organizations working in any of these activities, out of the 16 activities, if it is doing for any of the activity, the first condition, social intent, is clear. Next we can go. The second condition is social enterprises shall target underserved. Underlying word is underserved or less privileged population segments or regions recording low performance, the development priorities of the central and the state governments. The basic thing is that if where the central government and the state governments have not reached to the target area for the underserved persons, where all the benefits of the government, central government, the state governments are not reached, there if they are working, second conditions also be satisfied. And the third condition, very important. Third condition is that 67%, that is also called 67% condition. What is these 67% conditions? If out of the below three conditions, any one of the conditions is fulfilled, then entity can be covered as social enterprises. What are these conditions? First one is at least 67% of the immediately preceding 3-year average of the revenue comes from the providing eligible activities to the members of the target population. Yes. Next is, first one was the income. Second was the 67% of the immediately preceding average of the expenditure has been incurred for providing eligible activities. The important is here, expenditure should be for the activities, eligible activities. And the third condition is member of the target population to whom eligible activities have been provided must constitute at least 67% of the immediately three preceding average year of the total customer base. There is the clarity. There must be a 67% coverage from the average preceding 3 years average. Yeah. If these three conditions have been fulfilled, then only entities can be covered as social enterprises. Yes. Next we go. Next we go is a very, very important. What are the entities not covered? Under the red line I have mentioned. First one is corporate foundations. Corporate foundations are not covered. What are the corporate foundations? We will discuss in the next part. political or religious organizations. Political or the religious organizations also not, or activities. Professional or trade associations also not covered here. Infrastructure and housing companies are also not covered here, but here is the sum of the exceptions. Only covered is those companies working for affordable housing. Only these are the covered. Or other than that, any of them shall not be eligible to be identified as social enterprises. Yes. Next. The next regulation is 292F. This is regarding the registration. To whom that is applicable, who is required to be registered on social stock exchange. That regulation deals with that. First one is, if any of the regulation, if any of the entity wants to raise funds through social stock exchange, this have to register on social stock exchange. Provided that here is the provider. If entity only wants to register itself but not to raise funds through social stock exchange, they also have to register on social stock exchange. That is covered. And the next is, if entity wants to generate funds through social stock exchange, they also have to register first themselves on the social stock exchange. Only then they will have to eligible for that. And next is the minimum requirements. What are the minimum requirements for the eligibility requirements for the registration? We'll discuss in the next part. This we have covered from the framework that was also issued by the circular issued by the SEBI on the 19th September 2022, that the regulation 292 have discussed about the minimum requirements to be met by the NPO for registration. What are these requirements? First one is, it should be either trust, society, and the Section 8 company. Very clear. Next minimum requirement is disclose if NPO is controlled by the government or. Next condition is, NPO must have a valid certificate, 12A, 12AA, 12A. Next is, does they have a notice on ongoing scrutiny by the income tax? Here the word is notice or ongoing scrutiny by the income tax. That is the very important condition. You must notice that if any of the entity is having an ongoing scrutiny by the income tax department, those entities will not be eligible for registration on social stock exchange. Yes. The next is having a valid IT PAN. They must have a valid IT PAN. Next is minimum 3-year old. The entity must be minimum 3-year old. And the next is having a valid ATG exemption certificate. And the next is compliance of the regulation 292E. 292E regulation compliance means, as we earlier discussed, what was the completion? First, social intent. There must be a social intent. Second condition is, it must work for underserved people. And the third is 67% condition. All the three must be fulfilled. It must be in compliance for the regulation 292E. Next is, minimum annual spending in the past financial year must be at least 50 lakhs. There is the important condition. And the last requirement is, minimum annual funding in the past financial year must be 10 lakhs. That is the not the average, it is the last financial year, past financial year. Here the next regulation, which deals with the fundraising by the social enterprises, how entities can generate the funds, how they can raise the funds through the social stock exchange. Regulation 292G deals with that. The first one is not for profit organizations. What is this? Zero coupon, zero principal, ZP, ZCZP instruments. Regarding that, we will discuss on the later slides. Donations through mutual fund schemes, and another for the for-profit social enterprises, fund can be raised either by the equity shares or the debt securities. These are the options available for the non-profit organizations and the for-profit entities also. Yeah. The important regulation 292H is here, which deals the ineligibility of raising of funds. Earlier we discussed the registration requirements. Now we will discuss the fundraising requirements. Which type of the entities are not eligible for fundraising? Yeah. Important is, if social enterprises or any of its promoter group or the directors of the selling stakeholder are debarred from access the securities market by the board. If any of the promoter director have been divided by the board, this type of entity are not eligible. This will be ineligible. Next condition is, if any of the promoter of the director or the trustee of the social enterprise is promoter of the director of any other company or the social enterprises which has been debarred. There is a difference between all these two conditions. And the first we discussed, if any of the promoter or the director are debarred. The next condition, if any of the social enterprises or the company is debarred, if there is the director, common director on the other side also, other enterprise also, they will also not eligible for fundraising here. Next is, if any of trustee or the director of the enterprise is the willful defaulter or fraudulent borrower, they are also not eligible for fundraising here. Next is, if any of the promoter or trustee is an economic offender. If they are any economic offender, they are also not eligible for fundraising. Next is, if any of those are debarred by the MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, any other ministry of the central government or the state government, or charitable commissioner, or any other statutory body, if they are divided by any of them, then these persons will not be eligible for fundraising here. Yeah. Next regulation. Earlier we discussed about the zero coupon zero principle. Yeah. Here we will discuss what is the zero coupon zero principle ZCZP. For this, regulation 292I deals of the chapter 10A of the ICDR regulations, issuance of zero coupon zero principle. Here, what is this terminology means? The conditions are here. For ZCZP, it is only issued by the non-profit organization. Important. It cannot be issued by the for-profit organization. What it is, it can be issued only by the non-profit organizations. And here important condition is, here it must have a specific tenure. It can be issued only for a specific tenure. Next important condition is here, it is issued without any coupon and no principal amount shall be payable on this maturity. At the time of the maturity, no financial benefit either in the principal nor the coupon will be given to any of the participants. Yeah. Next, regulation 292J says that it is only for specific project or the activity to be completed within the duration. What is mean? If the example is that if you have started to build a school, or any of the unit, there can be only one ZCZP and it must be finished within a duration, that is time frame specific given in your documents. Only for that. It cannot be done, it cannot be issued for the any other. Now, the regulation 292K deals with how to issue ZCZP. Yeah, very important. That is the practical approach. How non-profit organization can raise funds. They can raise funds through ZCZP What are the means here? Non-for-profit organization shall file a draft fundraising fund document with the Social Stock Exchange with fees. It is for the Social Stock Exchange, or the, if any of the non-profit organizations want to raise fund, first they have to submit draft fundraising document. After submitting the draft fundraising document along with the fees, they will issue, and they can submit the application also for the listing. But after fundraising, it shall be available on the website also, on the Social Stock Exchange, and for the non-profit organizations both, for at least 21 days for the public comments, so that if any of the person from the public, if they want to say anything about that organization or the for that ZCZP, they have the opportunity to say on that. Yeah. Next is the Social Stock Exchange shall provide its observation on draft fundraising document to the non-profit organizations within 30 days from the filing of the fundraising. They must have to provide the observation. On receipt of the clarification, any of the from by the Social Stock Exchange from the non-profit organization, whichever is stated. The next is, for the non-profit organization, they shall incorporate in the draft fundraising document all the observations given by the Social Stock Exchange. They have to incorporate all the observations in their document. Only then they will draft a final fundraising document and they will submit to the Social Stock Exchange for final list. Yeah. Next is minimum disclosure requirement for NPOs fundraising USCFP. What is the minimum requirements? Minimum requirement is that Social Stock Exchange, under the guidance of Social Stock Exchange Governing Council, shall mandate the structure of the fundraising document. Final fundraising document shall host such requirement on its website. They will have to host on their website what are the basic requirements, so that everybody can prepare documents according to that. What are the minimum requirements? And for the fundraising document, there must be a vision of the organization. What are the activities covered in the vision? Organization's activities. All the activities must be mentioned in the document, our fundraising document. Intervention programs are in line with the aims and the objects started in its constitutions. They must cover. Next is target segment. Earlier we covered vision. The next is target segment. Target segment means organization has defined its target segment and reached to accomplish its plan. What is the target segment? To which type of the activity they have planned to do, which area they have sorted out, and which type of the population they have targeted. All things must be clearly mentioned here. Clear identification and understanding regarding the target segment means what are the exact problems of the persons, what are the problems and how they are affected. It must be clear. The next is NPO must disclose how it intends to improve inclusion of the customer. There must be a clarity how they are going to improve with the project, how they are going to improve the customer and the recipients. There must be a clarity. Next is strategy. It means there must be a strategy how they are going to achieve their targets. And the next is governance. In the governance part, all the organizations must give their governing details of the governing body, composition, and dates of the board meetings and the key items covered. They must give all the details. Next is part is management. Management means the details of key managerial staff in charge of the programs, fundraising, marketing, finance, and HR. All their heads, information regarding them, they must have to provide. Organization disclose whether it provides letter to the staff and the voluntary defining roles and the responsibility and what are their performance appraisal process. They need to disclose. Operations means here, operations means physical existence of the entity, in how much area, in which part of the country, where their programs are running, where is their physical existence. They must disclose all the information. They must disclose all the addresses of the sites and the programs, complete address of the sites and the programs. They must disclose in the document. Finance part means disclosure of the financial statement for last 3 financial years. For the last 3 financial years, they have to submit their financial papers. Here important is financial papers means what are it, which documents are in accordance with the guidelines issued by the ICAI for NPO. All the documents must be prepared as per the guidelines issued by the ICAI of the NPOs. There. The next is compliance. What it says, annual accounts of the last 3 years are audited. The important word is all the accounts must be audited. And next is there are no material qualifications or material irregularities reported by the auditor. It should not be there. And compliance with respect to income tax notices received. If any of the income tax notice have been received, what compliance we have done to disclose. Next, what is their credibility? Credibility means documents such as the registration, trust deed, MOA, can submit there, or the FCR registration certificate if you have on the returns, you can also submit there. In relation to the governing members, they also can be submitted. And the next important part is social impact. What is social impact? That is the impact what has been come with the help of your past programs, those you have undertaken in the previous years. If any of the program, the basic condition is that the form must be 3 years old. That is why if in the 3 years, past 3 years, if you have done any of the activity, any of the program with the help of those programs, what exact help, what was the exact impact on the society, those social impact must be disclosed in your document. Next is risk. Risk means risk that NPO sees to work and how to proposes to mitigate this. All the things, all the projects must have risk, but you have to clearly analysis, you have to identify what are the risks, what can be the risk in doing this activity, and how you are prepared yourself to mitigate all these risks. You have to be ready for that. Yeah. Next conditions are relating to, earlier we should discuss the procedural part. Next is the conditions relating to issuance of ZCZP. The regulation 292N says regarding that, here is for ZCZP, ticket size must be minimum of rupees 1 crore. Here important is below 1 crore ZCZP cannot be issued. It must be for at least 1 crore. Next part is application size. What is that? For the application size, who wants to participate on ZCZP, wants to apply for ZCZP, there must be 2 lakh rupees. Below 2 lakh, you cannot apply. Yeah. And the next condition, important condition, is that the subscription must be at least 75%. Below 75%, if you have, that we can discuss in the next part. If by chance the condition is that if you have subscription amount below 75%, then you have to return all the money. All the money you have to refund. But the condition is that if there is a situation, there can be situation, the subscription was not 100%. If it ranges between 75 to 100%, then you also analysis how you are going to mitigate this, the balance capital, how you will achieve your goals, what will be the impact if you are not able to achieve 100% subscription amount, how it will impact your project. Either you are getting by any other mean that you also have to mention. If not, how it will impact your goal. These must be very clear. Next is termination part. Termination part says when termination of the listing ZCZP will be covered. First is if it is for the specific project. If that has been achieved, that target has been achieved, then it can be terminated. Otherwise, as we earlier told, it should be for a specific period, specific tenure. If that has also been expired, it is also got terminated. Yeah. After that, we have discussed the regulations, chapter 10A. Now, on the same day, LODR regulations, 25th July also given, chapter 9A here, which says obligations of the social enterprises. If any of the social enterprises got themselves registered on social stock exchange, what are their liabilities? What are their obligations for compliance part? What they have to do? Yeah, here are the disclosure requirements. Here are the disclosure requirements that all the entities who are listed their securities shall disclose their requirements for making annual disclosures. They have to submit the annual disclosure. What is the time frame mentioned here? Time frame mentioned is that within the 60 days from the end of the financial year. Within the 60 days from the end of the financial year, you have to submit your annual disclosures. What are the annual disclosures are here? Annual disclosures are here means some of the points of the general aspect. What is the general aspect? Name of the organization, location of the headquarters, vision, and the organization goals. Next is general aspect. General aspect means earlier we covered the general aspect part, and the next is outreach of the organization, scale of the operations, top 5 donors, and top 5 interventions. They can get. And next is disclosure on governance aspect. Governance aspect means ownership and the legal form, governance structure, detail of the governing body, executive with the key responsibilities that we can cover. Governance part next means number of the meetings, governing body, if they have organization level potential risk, mitigation plan, reporting of the related party transactions, mechanism for the advice and the concern about ethics or the conflict between the interests if they have. They also mentioned that. Next is remuneration policy of the managing committee. Stakeholder grievance if they have, what is their number of, if they have number of grievances they have received and how much they have resolved. All this details mentioned there. Compliance management process and the statement of compliance from the senior decision maker. It must be there. Organization registry certificates, just like 12-way registration certificate, ATG, FCRA, GST. So if they have, they must have to declare and this attach there. Next is financial aspect. Annual disclosure by the social enterprises on the financial aspect. What is that? They have to submit their utilization certificate every year along with auditor reports and the auditor details. Auditor details must be there along with the audit report. Now, next is my speed is sufficient or how to go ahead?
I think we are short of time because I think
Okay.
this webinar goes till
there
9.
Some of the more slides here.
Yeah,
So
because it goes till
running,
yeah,
so
it goes till 9, and I think it's a weekend.
yeah, that is why that is why I can understand the situation. So if you can take any of the questions from the participants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here.
Yes, sir.
Next part we can cover in the any of the other session.
Yes, sir. The question that is put across is that how is this different than CSR where most of the activities are part of it. The only exception is that these corporates are not social enterprise. Is it? Do I repeat the question, sir?
Yeah, you can repeat also. Yeah, sure.
All right. How is this different than CSR, where most of the activities are part of it? The only exception is that these corporates are not social enterprise. Is it?
Yeah. Here I would like to clarify that social CSR, the corporates are giving their CSR fund to the organizations, but there are some that most of the time the government says and the other person also says there are the issues how to approach to the right person or the right entity. So here is a platform where all the entities can meet, come together. The good corporates can also come together and they can invest to the social enterprises, and the social enterprises, all the working, if they are working, they can also register their project on that platform so that they can come together and work for the society.
Oh, thank you, sir. And there's another question, sir, that how can we use MACD curve in trading? How far it is reliable?
Can you repeat, ma'am? What is
Yes,
it?
yes, surely. How we can use MACD curve in trading? How far it is reliable?
Actually, ma'am, this question I think relates to the earlier speakers.
Okay.
Actually, this is not covered in the social stock exchange.
Right. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, this question was reflected
Yeah.
later. So,
Okay. That's why earlier speakers can answer on this topic very well.
so I think the earlier speakers have already left the session.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. So is that all by you? The question was like that. That was the question.
Okay.
So you are over with your presentation, sir?
No, I actually have too many of the more slides, but I can understand the situation as it's a Saturday and we are on the 9th. So I think we should conclude here, na, so that we can cover. I would request Nanda sir also to give another time so that we can cover the later stage on all of the information here, so that we can give the.
No, it will be definitely our pleasure, and I think Nanda sir would definitely adhere to your request.
Sure, ma'am.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving such a valuable time and sharing your wonderful experience.
Yeah, I would like to thanks to the entire participants who are listening here with the. I can understand the situation. They are very good.
All right.
Thank you.
So thank you, sir. Once again, I thank everyone for participating, listening to the wonderful speakers we had. And my heartiest thanks to the chairman, the vice chairman, and the committee and the speakers for sharing their wonderful experience. We all are, more informative by listening to them. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a good weekend and enjoy. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.